What is going on, Rotogrinders? Dean here at Dean 7904. If you want to get all technical, I mean, it's 5:30 on the dot on the East Coast, 2:30 West Coast, 4:30 Tennessee time. Of course, that was just time for the flagship show here at Rotogrinders. It is called Grinderslive. Joining me today, it is a three-man booth. Batting first, leading off, it's Kid Yahoo. Kirk Dees, what's going on, dude?
What up? What up?
Are we excited about the Celtics tonight?
No, we're not excited about the Celtics tonight. They could care less. What I hate is like now all of a sudden it's turned into this big racist, like coming into. First of all, I've been to a million Boston sporting events. I've never once heard a racial slur. That's my personal opinion. I mean, that's a personal fact. I hate how Kyrie just brought that all up now, and now everyone's talking about it and stuff.
All right. I mean, there is a history in there is a history in that city, but we don't have time to get into that. Grant, you're coming at us live from Wyoming. Is that where we're at? From part-time?
Jasper, Wyoming. Big upgrade from lost wages, as I like to call it.
That is clever because you were in Las Vegas, and Las Vegas is known for a city where sometimes you lose money, right? And that's pretty. Did you make that up, or is that somebody else's?
That's been said by so many different people. Didn't really lose much money. I did spend a lot of money, but I didn't really lose much money.
Do you remember me from like 3 days ago in Las Vegas? Remember hanging out?
I do. We went to Old Town, and then we're like, Old Town kind of sucks with half the things closed. Let's go back.
Where did you want it? You wanted to play giant Jenga or something like that, and it wasn't available?
Oh, gosh. Gold Spike. Absolutely fantastic place. Giant beer pong, giant shuffle, or actually just regular shuffleboard without a table, giant cornhole, and they've got Foursquare is one of my favorite things to do there. You just have everyone go by the rules, which is you have to have a drink in your hand while playing Foursquare. They
had the audacity to call themselves like world renowned. They're like world known, and yeah, the doors were locked, and yeah, it was a good time. So it was fun hanging out. Thanks for not inviting me to dinner once again. I do appreciate that.
You couldn't afford it.
Oh.
Well, I figured you'd hook it up, we're not friends.
Kid Super Draft.
I had a $300 credit. I'm like, yeah, let's just go use this. And then it ended up being like triple that.
Like, you read about $900. Hold on, let me do some math. You
bought some expensive wine?
No, I just had a lot of moderately priced wine. And we did the full tasting menu, and I don't know, I couldn't do drunk math, so I ended up tipping him like $250. Like, oh, hey, that was 30%. He was a good guy.
This is why you were a former accountant?
Not 20 drinks in.
Do you want to say what's up to YouTube? Like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Going to talk about the slate in just a second. It was a 12-game slate. It is now down to a 10-game slate. If you were playing the earlier slate, Colorado and Pittsburgh is postponed. Milwaukee and Washington is postponed. Atlanta and the Mets is postponed. I will go ahead, or maybe Devin could do this for us. He is the multitasking producer after all. If he can drop the Ross updated weather in the chat, that would be much appreciated. We do have Miami and Boston, which I thought wasn't going to play, but the first thing he says is maybe.
I think he updated it. I think it's pretty unlikely.
Okay, yeah. Orange is the color, which is not a very red is obviously.
It's orange red now.
Oh, it must have just updated in the last minute because
like 25 minutes ago, but okay.
No, maybe
there's a new one now.
You hit the Grant. Why are you throwing off the rhythm here? You hit the refresh button.
Wow, what are the odds?
It is green in Detroit, but it's freezing. It's really, really cold. 20-mile-per-hour winds blowing out to make it feel even colder. And it looks like it's going to be fine and good to go. We'll be talking about Garrett Cole in a second. And for a 10-game slate, or maybe 9, maybe 8, depending on how things go down, Garrett Cole is just going to be incredibly owned, but it's really hard not to play him, and we'll talk about it in a second.
I'm going to be over the field.
Yeah, whatever it is, I'm over the field too, I believe. Like, I especially like on DK, maybe on FanDuel, I'll make a lineup without him just to kind of get a different shuffle because he is pretty pricey, and you're somewhat restricted as far as bats, but not really because it's FanDuel and their pricing is kind of, soft. It is orange for the White Sox. That is the Matt Harvey game against the White Sox, so people are going to be wanting some bats for sure. And then Toronto bats there against the rookie for Cleveland. It's yellow-orange there as well. You will get the most up-to-date update from Kevin Roth from the mouth itself because Crunch Time is free today, people. Free Crunch Time for everybody, taking you guys all the way up to lock. and that is sponsored by Big Brain. Thank you, Big Brain. They're playing Big Brain after lock. They're going to be hanging out playing, and you guys can partake as well. It's basically a world of HQ trivia and DFS where they merge. Tonight's topic they're going to be playing, it's trivia, obviously. Tonight's topic is sport rules. Is that correct, Evan? I believe it's
sports rules.
Sports rules. Yeah, you guys know sports, right? Curtis, you know sports rules?
I've been known to get around a few rules here and there.
You think Joe West would do well in this? Does he know the rules? Manager, umpire.
Yeah.
Country Joe.
Yeah, he's got an album out there. You can find it on Spotify. It's not good. It's definitely.
You can also find Dave Potts on Spotify. Fantastic.
You can find Dave Potts. He's as good on Spotify. You know where else you can find him? It's a good segue. You can find him on Crunch Time tonight. Also joining Kevin Roth, taking you guys off the lock, as well as Mr. Tuttle. They'll be breaking down the slate. You know, we're setting the table where the appetizer and the main course is following us. And the dessert, I suppose, will be the Big Brain. And if you guys have not played there, you can go ahead and drop $50. You get a $50 matching deposit bonus. No code necessary. All right, Curtis, tell me why we should not play Garrett Cole tonight. Like, he's in the world of his own. He's actually got a pretty good weather matchup. He's got an amazing matchup as far as humans he's facing. He's better than everybody else taking the bump tonight. It's not that hard to get him in there. Why do I not play Garrett Cole?
You play Garrett Cole. It's that we just don't have much options, at this point coming down. So, I mean, if we're gonna take a big picture, I mean, I guess there's always a chance like something could go wrong, but I mean, this is literally the nut matchup, right? I mean, the Tigers are the most anemic offense. They're the second highest K percentage, 27.5% K percentage. Garrett Cole is, light years above every single pitcher on this slate, 38.5% K percentage. But what you get is the 3.3 walk percentage. I mean, the command is just ridiculous. We've got the long track record. It's a good ballpark. It's cold. The wind's blowing in. I mean, give me a reason not to play this game.
I don't have one. No. I'm just asking the question. I can't answer that. Grant, you're the lunatic sometimes. You got an answer?
Yeah, I'm not that much of a lunatic. If all the games are playing, like maybe if it was a little different, but it's literally got everything going towards him. He's Garrett Cole, enough said there, but he's going against Detroit in solid pitching weather. Everything's in his favor, like home runs, only thing that are likely to actually take him down. This is not a spot where there's going to be home runs, like the weather and the team, just no home runs. So there's no reason not to play him. I have 100% of him. I'm going to let other people make mistakes.
Yeah, I was pulling up the bat, and the bat is like the fantasy point per dollar, and obviously with pitchers, general rule is it's hard to be really, really expensive and also be a great point per dollar pitcher, but raw points matter as well. The bat currently has Garrett Cole as the second best point per dollar guy. Anyone care to guess who number one happens to be?
Dallas Keuchel.
Yeah, I don't know if you're cheating or not, but Dallas Keuchel and his 12.3% K rate in this season. Like, good Lord. And I said the same thing about Carlos Martinez yesterday. Who had like a 12% K rate, and he was good for 6 innings-ish, then struck midnight. Keuchel, he gets ground balls, and he's not sexy, and he's not going to win the slate for you, but he generally isn't going to lose it either, and he's facing Baltimore. Grant, is that something you're interested in, Dallas Keuchel? Probably more as an SB2 on DK, not so much as your main pitcher on FanDuel, because you got to throw another pitcher out there anyway. It gets ugly pretty quickly. Are you interested in Keuchel, or you just knew the answer?
So I have no, I just knew the answer. So I currently have 2 pitchers. That's it. I'm only rolling out 3 laps, but I have 2 pitchers, the same 2 pitchers in every single lap. Right now,
hold on. Kirk Dees, guess his 2 pitchers.
What side are we talking?
DK.
DK, you got Ohtani and Cole, or you have Walker Buehler and Cole.
I have Manaea and Cole.
Manaea.
So it's also for ease, like decent chance I switch over. Like, I'm gonna wait and see what Roth has to say about the Toronto game. If he gets the go ahead, I'm probably gonna 100% swap, or at least 2 out of 3 swap over to Ryu. I just think he's the better play, and I'm a big fan of him today. He's just been cruising, but Manaea and Cole are the only 2 I really want to go with. If I'm still Also, I'm still waiting on the Cardinals and Diamondbacks lineups. Depending on what ends up coming out there, it might not work as well. So
We
there's a
got the
chance.
Diamondbacks.
Huh?
We got the
do?
Diamondbacks and no Ketel Marte.
All right, that's going to change some things.
Carson Kelly batting second, Josh Rojas leading off, Escobar third, Peralta, Smith, Reddick, Ahmed, LeCastro, Mad Bum.
All right, that's gonna change some things around. Actually, it might not, because I'm double stacking, and I'm playing pretty much 3 teams, and that's it. Oh gosh. All right. Well, now I'm using Walker Bueller, I think, because without what's his name in there, without Ketel Marte, like who I had in 100% of my lineups, I think I'm now going to end up with a lot more money. I'm rolling out a lot of Walker Bueller and Cole, and then probably Ryu, and that's it. Like, that's all I'm doing for pitching. I understand going with other guys. I mean, Keuchel makes a little bit of sense. Dobnak, I think I prefer to him. Like, Dobnak's not great, but he's essentially the same pitcher, slightly worse matchup, higher K rate. Going to come in at way less ownership because the bat's popping out Keuchel on a lot of lineups. So Dobnak, I think, is the better way to go. But Ohtani, Manaea, Ryu are the only other guys I'm considering when I'm not just double barreling pitchers.
Yeah, Cheese described Dobnak as basically a right-handed version of Keuchel. Fairly safe, not a lot of Ks, not going to walk anybody. Good ground ball guy, 56% ground balls. This KC lineup does have Adalberto Mondesi now. They have a really scuffling Soler. Dozier's back as well too, so it's a little bit different as far as Kansas City. But Dobnak should be fine. He should be okay. He's not going to light the world on fire. He's not going to win anything for you, but for the asking price and kind of make things work, I'm okay with him. I do like the idea of playing Walker Bueller with Cole whenever I can go double barrel. I love that. And I feel like Kirk D's, I don't necessarily love Bueller, but if I can make it work, and there's not a lot of hitters I love.
Like, yeah, there's no offense to love. That's just the problem. There's no offense to love tonight, right? Like, who are we going to slam in there? I'll talk about Dobnak. I think Dobnak is a great play tonight. I mean, it's basically about efficient innings, and this is a guy who gets 55% ground balls, minuscule hard contact, 27% hard contact. They've been lengthening him out. He threw over 90 pitches in the last one. I can get behind that. I think Cardi's got to update the bat a little bit here. If he wants my help, he can DM me. But
what does it say?
I know. I'm just, yesterday he had Strasburg as the number 1 play. It's like, if you watch him pitch, you would know he's not the same pitcher. And Sonny Gray, you knew what you were getting with Sonny Gray last night, right? He is the same pitcher. So I think I hate these big, long track records that are being pulled in. I think you gotta shorten up the time frame in some of these guys. Keuchel is nothing special. And the Orioles are actually good against left-handed pitching. They don't strike out a lot, contrary to what you might think. They have a good ISO. They have a decent WOBA. They've got a good WRC plus. They put up runs, but the problem is, now we lose Mancini now, right? After getting hit in the elbow last night.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So he's a big bat, and so we'll probably get Valleca in there again, but and that's definitely a downgrade. But I mean, I have no interest in Dallas Keuchel tonight whatsoever. Zero.
Yeah, I don't want to click that button either, but he can get you like 15 of the most boring fantasy points, I suppose he can get you. He's got a decent win equity as well. I imagine you think that the White Sox are likely to get to Matt Harvey, but you're right. Like, there's not a lot of, if he gives up a 3-run homer, he really can't recover from that. He's not going to get,
We'll never financially recover from this.
I don't really want to pick on the Giants with Bueller, but I think Bueller is like clearly the next best pitcher. I'm in on Manaea. I think he's perfectly fine. Ryu, this Cleveland lineup is not good. They lost Franmil Reyes. He's been in great form. Not an elite K pitcher, but enough Ks, and he's not going to walk anybody, and he can go 7 fairly clean. Lefties versus Texas is a thing. So Justice Sheffield's in the pool. I wish he was a little bit cheaper. One of the interesting ones that I've seen bantied about is Ohtani, assuming he took the right transportation, assuming he's good to go. The tricky thing is, last time out, I don't know if you guys are looking at this, look at the game logs as far as the velocity, but his velocity plummeted last game. It was like down like 4.5 miles per hour on his fastball.
5 ticks, and nobody ever said a word about it. And they the positive sign is that they're throwing him back out again, and so, but it's never been addressed. So I don't know if it was intentional or what.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you assume he's fine and you assume the team has his best interest and you assume that they know, like, if there's something wrong, why would you throw him out there? He means so much for them future-wise, from a hitting perspective. He's got the injury, in his past. Like, you got to think they have their best interest at heart, and maybe he was a faulty gun. That happens on occasion, but it's a really distinct drop. And but there's a K upside there that a lot of pitchers don't have tonight. Of course, he also can't go beyond like 95 pitches or so, but he can strike out 9 in 5 innings and change and like walk 4, and he's good to go. I don't know what to do with him, Grant, but if he's going to be popular, I think I'm not playing him. I might have one lineup with him just in case, but I'm more likely to be under the field than over. And he wasn't in your 3 pitchers, so I guess you're not in on either.
I mean, yeah, he's projected at 9%. I think everything kind of changed. I think they just updated ownership, and I think, yeah, he's coming in at 9%. Like, Ohtani's not going to be that popular. Manaea is now coming in at 28%, which now I'm hoping this Toronto game goes because I'd much rather play Ryu. But yeah, like, things are going to be constantly adjusting up until lock, depending on what weather news ends up happening and what okays we get and what lineups end up coming out for some of these teams. Specifically, the Cardinals might change my stuff around a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I'm fine with Ohtani. Like, I much prefer Ryu. Like, I just do. The safety's there. Realistically, the upside's there. Ryu's been getting up over 100 pitches or 200 pitches recently, which was a little bit of concern earlier on this season. His strikeout rates, like, not super elite, but still at a solid, like, 25, 26%.
Good enough.
Yeah, the walk rate's there. The ground balls are there. The matchup isn't terrible, especially the bottom of that lineup's just trash.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is just a perfect spot for him. So if I'm going to give him at slightly less ownership than Ohtani and slightly less ownership than Manaea, I'm entirely fine with just taking a lot of Ryu.
Yeah, I mean, there are some small samples here in the plate IQ, like, Miller and Naylor. Miller only 11 at bats, like 45% as far as striking out versus lefties this year. Chang at 31%, Hedges at 29%. There's a lot of case to be had for sure.
I mean, but they're also throwing a few lefties in the lineup. Like, Naylor, it's only 25% over 88 bats over the last year. Like, we remember him back in the Padres. He's not great versus lefties. He's not going to be good versus lefties. And Ryu is very elite versus lefties.
That Cleveland lineup is absolute trash.
It's terrible.
They've got Jose Ramirez. That's it.
Yeah. In Framil Reyes, they're going to miss him. He's out for what, a month, 2 months or something like that.
And they just lost Luplow.
Who
is actually, that's bad for Ryu because he would have got a couple Ks out of that. But yeah.
Who are they replacing with?
I know it's
Naylor. I'd rather face Naylor, like slightly less Ks, but he's not going to do anything.
You guys keep making me thinking of a Street Fighter. It's Ryu, Grant, and not to be that guy. It's Hunjin Ryu.
It's all right.
Grant,
if you listen to Stevie's Morning Grind enough, you get implanted you with these pronunciations.
I listen to it while I sleep, so it's basically Inception.
Has anybody seen Tenet yet? I've been scared to watch it because I feel like I'm going to be so dumb. There's no chance I'm going to be able to figure it out. But same dude, Christopher Nolan. That's why I asked. But
he made a new movie.
Yeah, well, it came out like a year ago. It's now on HBO Max. Have you heard of it?
I have heard of HBO Max. I got halfway through Mortal Kombat the other day. Apparently, the beginning and the end is fantastic. The middle.
There's no way Mortal Kombat's a good movie. I refuse to believe that.
Okay, I love the original Mortal Kombat.
This coming from the guy who said pre-show that Freddy Got Fingered was a great movie. Just for the record.
Loved it.
That's our pre-show conversation. There you go, people.
Yeah, the dude used got $100,000 and he used it to fly his parents' house to what? I can't even remember what country it was. Just solid overall
major plot points. I just remember the sausage and the backwards band. That's basically. And there's a restaurant scene. You got anything, Kirk, to use on Freddy Got Fingered?
No, I got nothing.
You have anything else to add here as far as the pitchers?
I just want to say I personally don't care about ownership tonight on the pitchers, right? Although I do think Ryu is a good play, like Grant says. If we can get through with weather, I played him in a live final where I did very well, and people made fun of the play. I got him at like 1%. He just gives you that path of an extreme. If he's on and efficient, like he can just crank forever and just have like safe inning after safe inning, rack up a few strikeouts there. And that could be all you need. I mean, tonight it's kind of gross, except I will chase that upside with Ohtani. And, I know there's risk there and I know what I'm getting in. And he's probably a bad play based on ownership and the risk, the velocity going down. But like, there's just no other strikeout upside because Lamet is not going to provide it because he's not going to go long enough. Bumgarner, maybe. I mean, the guy's been running great and
he's been better. He's been better.
Yeah, somehow he's been doing it with, his velocity's up to about 92, which is terrible, right? But like, it's up for him. And he's getting 25% Ks. I don't know how he's doing it, but he is. Manaea is maybe a little potential, but like there's just no strikeout arms. Ohtani is a strikeout arm. We got a 35% K rate out of him. We know the walks are a huge issue.
17%.
Yeah, disgusting. But and also the we don't know how long he's going to go. We don't know if there's going to be a problem, a blister, yada yada. I mean, it's just always something with this guy. But if he's on, he can provide that upside that we need tonight, and that's all I really care. I don't really care about ownership and pitcher tonight. I'll just spread it around with the bats.
I'll throw out one weird one, which I don't know if anyone's going to play at all, but that weather is really, really conducive for pitching. I think he's kind of sort of turning a corner. Just watching him, Casey Mize against this Yankee lineup, and I know, oh boy, Stanton's back, but you want Stanton back. If you have the pitcher, you want Stanton. Okay, if he gives him a homer, that's not good, but he's also going to strike out 30% of the time. Judge will strike out plenty. Odor will strike out plenty. Higashioka strikes out plenty. The personal caddy there for Cole. I'm not sure if I'm going to get there, but I think Mize is an interesting pivot where with a lineup that does a lot of Ks, and it's a really, really great environment for pitching. Grant, close us out. By the way, I'm just reading the chat now. What up, chat? Do you subscribe? Turn on notifications. Fire off
who
some questions.
Sub-Zero is?
Yeah, Sub-Zero wins. I see Will is making fun of me. I'm not really sure which characters are Mortal Kombat, which are Street Fighter. I've certainly played them both, but I think I know one's from the other. I'm not certain. But I just thought it was funny that there was a chat comment held for review. They were reviewing a comment that Freddie got fingered. So I like how the
algorithm. Yeah, no, I tried to hide that one. I'm not gonna lie.
Should I not be saying it's a title of a legit movie from a studio?
I think it's allowed.
I don't know. Judges demonetized. So I'm getting them demonetized. They were out. Yeah. So much for that. Yeah. Grant, give me something on pitchers. Do you have a thought? Anybody have a thought on Mize, or am I nuts for throwing it out there?
I mean, you're a little bit, but not really. Like when the choice is between like him, Keuchel, and Dobnak, that's kind of your choices in that range. So it kind of gives you a little bit different because Dobnak and Keuchel, two guys get on. They give a one bomb and boom, they're done for the day. Like Mize, good pitching weather, been decent recently. Granted, it's been against some bad opponents, but overall, I'd just rather go Dobnak.
All right, give me a summary, Grant. Give me a summary, and then I want to see clean it up, Curtis, whatever Grant doesn't touch on. But I want to see your summary as far as pitchers, Grant.
All right, so top option, go 100% Cole. Then your SP2 over on DK is probably Manaea, Ryu, Maeda. If you need something cheaper, go Dobnak.
Curtis, anything else?
You gotta consider Ohtani on DK.
I agree. He's absolutely in the pool. But he's also probably the biggest potential variance. Like he can put up a -8 and he can put up a 27.
He could not make it to the ballpark.
I can get behind Mize though too. The Yankees are top 10 strikeout team. Yeah, their lineup. I mean, who knows what Stanton's going to look like in his first game back. It takes him usually a little while to heat up, typically. And if the surface number on the surface, his numbers don't look good. Like if you look at Mize, 18.7% K percentage. But this is a kid with loads of talent who's been putting it together and getting better with each start. And his last 3 starts has looked pretty damn good. Granted, 2 of those were extremely soft matchups, but with the weather, cold wind, the wind's blowing out though. It's a little scary for these Yankee hitters, but it is cold and kind of gross in a huge ballpark. So I don't mind that call at all from you, Dean.
The Giants lineup is out. They have Wade leading off, Lamont Wade, Yaz, Posey, Dickerson, Crawford, Solano, Vossler. Should I know who Vossler is? Vossler, one of the Duggar kids, and Disco Stew. Looks like a bunch of lefties, if I'm reading this correctly. 6 lefties being thrown here at Bueller. Last 3 years, lefty-righty splits. Bueller's kind of sort of straight up from a K perspective. Lefties 28% Ks, righties 29 and change. Walks are subdued on both sides. Gives up a little bit more power to righties for what it's worth. This is the bigger sample as far as the last 3 years. And I'm for sure going to try, especially on this slate. Like we're going to talk about hitters in a second. And even though there's some, like a lot of pitchers like, well, I don't want to roster that guy. Like, I don't know if I want to roster hitters against them either. And the weather is terrible anyway. I think there's only maybe 1 or 2 games with team totals above 5. There's no Coors game with a 7 total. It's like a big opportunity cost when you're paying up for pitchers. And we'll talk about that in a second. Let's jump in the catcher. Kirk Dees, that's yours.
Oh, thank you. Love my catchers.
You're welcome.
Thanks. I think, we actually have some good catcher plays tonight. I think, Grandal is in play tonight. I thought he was an easy fade last night for my boy, BMW Mercedes there, who came through for me. And I thought that was a great pivot. I mean, that guy smashes lefties, but it's kind of vice versa with track record from Grandal. And he's got the home run upside tonight against Harvey for sure. Also gets that number 2 lineup. You got Mitch Garver, who is a lefty masher. I'm comfortable saying that. Batting cleanup against the young Bubik. And then you get, I think Carson Kelly's a good play, especially now that he's up in the order. He probably was going to be anyway, but definitely is. And then we got Yadi Molina, who's always, hit left-handed pitching pretty well and is in the mix too. So, I'm probably not going to veer too far from any of those guys. Maybe Pedro Severino, especially if somehow the bat makes Keuchel chalk. If we don't have a Blue Jays, Orioles lineup yet, right?
No.
We do.
Oh yeah, we do. He's batting cleanup. He's 3.3K. He's hits left-handed pitching well. He's a home run threat. Gotta like that.
Okay, yeah, Mullins, Garvis, Santander, Severino, Mikel Franco. Let's see. All right, Valleca, Stewart, Nevin, and McKenna. Grant, you got anything to add there, catcher? Or we can
Absolutely nothing. I'm only using Garver, Kelly, and Molina. But Grandal would be, if I was taking a one off a catcher, it would be Grandal 100%.
It is interesting, Kelly jumping up that lineup, but I imagine he's going to, Arizona already was going to be popular. They one of the bigger totals on the slate. Best hitting environment on the slate. I think that's pretty clear. I don't even know if the roof is open.
Wide margin.
Yeah, it's not even a conversation. Do we know if the roof is open or not open?
It is. It's open, confirmed.
Okay, that's what I expected. Rojas leading off, no surprise there either. First base, Grant, it's yours.
First base there, I was looking at Phoenix weather. It's 101 degrees right now.
Yeah, it's a dry heat though.
Yeah, that does matter, especially for out. But it's still decent elevation, 100-degree weather. I'm willing to go with it. For first base, if you got the money, Vlad. I don't think I have the money. So Goldschmidt is pretty much the best option. Pavin Smith is batting 5th. Sano going up against Bubik, 4.2K. Those are the guys I'm going with. Maybe Minnesota guy.
Kirilloff.
Oh my God. Andrew Vaughn.
Sano's the guy. Yeah, Vaughn is batting 3rd.
Batting 3rd now, 2.5K.
He's going to be very popular. If you're going double barrel, like
it's Walker. It's Bueller. It makes no reason why you shouldn't, for cash at least.
And you throw him in the outfield.
White Sox into my stack.
But you're really going to be nobody's thought of that.
Doesn't matter. But Timmy Anderson's back tonight.
Yeah.
The problem is I want to go lefties against Harvey. There's not really any fly.
Jake Lamb
has actually been hitting the ball extremely well this season, and he's up there. He's top 25. He's number 26 in hard contact on the season right now, and
58%. Yeah.
You got to, but his sample's not that great. Obviously, he's not playing every day.
Sure, of course not. But when he's in there, he's performing, and that's all I care about.
Yeah, no Rowdy. I thought Rowdy Tellez was going to draw the start today versus the rookie Morgan, which I believe this is his debut in baseball. A rough team, debut against Vladdy.
He's gonna struggle.
I think so too. But like you said, it's going to be hard to pay up for Vladdy, but you certainly if you're running out multiple lineups, by all means, get yourself some Vladdy. And you mentioned Minnesota. I thought you were going to go with Sano. I think Sano is kind of interesting to go against Bubik. Bubik has not yielded a homer yet this year. He's been really, really lucky. Small samples, 23 innings. I was kind of digging into him earlier today. 0% homer to fly ball, BABIP at 234, left on base at 85%. He's got an ERA of 1.52, but a Sierra of 5 and an xFIP of 4.81. The regression monster is coming, and he's also walking 12.9% of hitters too. So that dude's been really, really lucky in a small sample, and maybe this is the day he gets pounced. You got anything else to add there, Kirk Dees? You want to talk second baseman?
Now let's move it over.
Oh, did we mention Goldie? Did we say Goldie versus?
Yeah, he let off with Goldie.
Okay, yeah, and BBP if you guys.
Yeah, I mean he's the Chop Factor's number one play of the day. Which is talking to Head Chopper is definitely Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah, they faced each other like 60 times or something like that. There's actually a legit sample size, and certainly both those players have changed over the last like 8 years, but whatever. Second base, what do you have?
Second base is kind of gross. I think Max Muncy is the best play, although he's pretty pricey on DraftKings. But they just smashed Tony Disco the other day. Now they get to run it back again. I think Odor is, if you need him for the price of $3,600, you can do that. Rojas, did Rojas make the line? Yeah, he made the line. Right?
Odor 2K on FanDuel, I believe. So he's one of those salary savers over there.
Rojas leading off 3.6K in that hitting environment is going to be extremely popular. Man, I don't, whatever, whoever fits your stacks. I mean, Tommy Edman for sure. You like him. He's kind of priced up. Maybe that keeps a little ownership off of him, but he's got a good speed and power profile.
Second base is terrible, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
I like Discos too, so I don't know if I understand why Muncy is popping and I understand why people want to play him, but if I only have so many big spends, he's probably not one of them. That's kind of where I'm at. I'm not saying he's a bad play, and I still might end up playing him. But Grant, what are we doing at second? Because it seems pretty gross. On FanDuel, I might just play Odor at 2K and just move on, just because there's not a big opportunity cost. Edmund I like as well too, and he's got a nice price over there. I think he's like 2.6 or 2.8. 4.8 on DK is kind of pricey, but certainly worth a look. Rojas at 3.6, another cheapie. You got anything that's standing out for you, Grant, or is this kind of like the last guy that fits, or your stack, or yada yada?
Rojas is by far my favorite, and it's not remotely close. I may end up with close to 100% of them. Outside of that, I mean, Simeon versus Morgan. Morgan's a guy that struggles with command. First outing in the league, like really strong changeup, so he should be all right versus lefties. There's one lefty in the lineup, and it's Joe Panic. Everyone else is hard-hitting righties. I think that Morgan's going to get destroyed. I think I am throwing a Dobnik lineup in there and hoping for the best. But it's Rojas is the only guy I can suggest, or round out your stack.
We're saying there are two Rojases that play second base. One's Josh and one's Jose. Everybody, you guys are talking about Josh, I assume, leading off there for Arizona. Just wanted to make sure that was a.
I didn't mention Solak, 4,400. I like him with the platoon.
Yeah, I wish he was a little bit cheaper, but yeah, I'm okay with that. Batting second there versus Justice Sheffield, who's fine, bit of a prospect, but nothing special there, obviously. Hey, chat, start firing off some questions. We're gonna do our best to knock them out. GPP questions, cash game questions. Tell us what site. Overarching, do we stack this guy? Do we not stack this guy? Big fades. We're happy to answer those the last 15 minutes, give or take, of the show. Third base, hot corner. Kirk D, start it off.
Third base, the price play for doing your Bueller Cole lineups is going to be Josh Donaldson for 4K with the platoon, just way too cheap. Brings the home run upside. Nolan Arenado is probably the highest, probably the top projected overall play, but you got to pay for it at 5,400. Escobar did not make the lineup, correct? Or no, he did. Escobar is in there, 4.7K. You got to like him. Justin Turner's been swinging the bat really great. It's been beautiful since he's been $8 on Yahoo every night for the last couple of nights. So I've enjoyed that. But I like him. I like Kyle Seager, Miguel Sano. That's about it. Maybe Machado if I think Machado should be back tonight. He's definitely overpriced, but he does hit lefties well. Framber's first game back. The Houston bullpen has been underperforming this season. I think both of these bullpens are going to get a lot of action in this game. The San Diego Padres bullpen used a ton in the last series against Milwaukee, a lot of their arms. So and Lamet is not going to go on. So I think that this game could pop off in general. So I'm interested in any of those guys like Bregman or Machado.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Lamet or Valdez. Two pretty solid pitchers, but two pitchers that almost definitely won't go long enough to justify talking about, because they're being asked for the full price, and almost definitely they don't go beyond like 4 innings or something like that. Not worth rostering tonight. Grant, what do you have to add here?
Third?
Yeah, if there's anything.
Arenado, Escobar, Donaldson. Only 3 people I want. So no. But I'm using the bit at first.
I like Sano as well. Do you want to say Crunch Time is free tonight? If you guys are just joining us, stay tuned. You got Kevin Roth, Chief Meteorologist, going to give you guys the most up-to-date update as far as what's going on weather-wise. Obviously, there's a lot lurking right now. We have gotten some information. A couple games have already been postponed. That's the Milwaukee-Washington game, the Atlanta-Mets game. Miami-Boston, maybe. We'll see. Stay tuned. Toronto-Cleveland, stay tuned. Boston-Chicago, stay tuned. Detroit looks like it's going to be pretty good. They can play, but it's going to be cold. All right, let's jump to shortstop. Grant, what do you have for me?
Bichette, Anderson, Polanco. If you want to go a little bit off the board, he's batting 7th, so I don't really expect him to be very high owned. Mondesi is cheap. Edmonds is an actual good play.
Yeah, I think Adalberto Mondesi is kind of interesting too. He's like 3K, or is he 2.8? And he moved up in the lineup as well too. Yeah, 2.8 on DK. Which, and we know he's got the wheels. He hasn't, I don't believe he's stolen a base just yet. He's only back for 3 games or so. And the season-long guys on Twitter are very angry that he's just finally starting to play. Was he a first rounder or a second rounder? We don't care about that in DFS, obviously. But, in Dobnak, I know we're talking about rostering him, but he's not somebody you necessarily fear either.
It plays out well because he's not going to allow a home run. Mondesi can get there with a single or a walk and 2 stolen bases.
Yeah, Anderson setting the table. We've heard lefties against Harvey, but whatever. We'll play anybody against Harvey. So I like him as well, coming back from his injury. I'm curious where Gavin Lux lands in this Dodgers lineup. I'd imagine he's moving up a bit against the righty. Disco is more vulnerable to lefties as well. We're going to get Bellinger back soon. If he comes back tonight, he's really cheap. I don't think it's going to be tonight. Maybe tomorrow. Stay tuned for tomorrow. But yeah, just going to keep an eye on that Dodger lineup. Maybe that's why it's not out just yet, or maybe he's just coming back tomorrow. We shall see. Anything to add there, Kirk Dees, as far as shortstop?
The pivot off of Mondesi would be Mlb Dfs for 2,800, who snuck in the lineup in the number 2 spot in a game where you should see a decent amount of bullpen that has been used up pretty strongly in their last series.
Yeah. Oh man, he's so terrible. But you're right.
He just hit homered off Bauer.
All right. Well, there you go. He used up all his powers. But what's Alvarez is still hurting, right? He's got a wrist. That's why you think he's DHing tonight. Is Diaz. Anything else that's of note? I heard the name Polanco. I think he's like 2. He's really, really cheap on FanDuel.
FanDuel
really expensive
cheap.
Yeah, expensive on DK, really cheap on FanDuel. Just gonna keep him in mind. If you need a flat out punt, he's perfectly fine. And we talked about very few teams of the 5 total. Minnesota just barely with a 5 total tonight. I think it's Minnesota and Arizona. Is that the only 2 teams? Or the White Sox probably as well, right?
Yeah.
5.27. Anything else that's of note? Well, I guess we just jump in the outfield, which the outfield kind of stinks tonight, Kirk Dees. Like, we have 10 games as of right now, and I don't know.
I love it.
A lot of okay, well, I'll yield to you. I'll go to you first. You tell me some outfield.
Well, I love it because things are super cheap. If you're stacking up the Diamondbacks, Reddick is 2.3K. I know he's not great, but doesn't matter. Like paying up, you got Cruz would be my main option. But there's Lamb, there's Vaughn, there's O'Neill, there's what's his name, Carlson. Like those are the top plays. Like the 2 cheap guys with power going for the Cardinals going up against Bumgarner, who gives up a lot of power to righties. So it's a perfect spot for them. And then like Lamb and Vaughn because of the solid batting spot at third or at the 3 hole, and Lamb just because it's a lefty versus Harvey, who just got destroyed by them. So outside that, Rojas is also in there, but I'm playing more at second. But yeah, pretty much all comes from 4 teams for me. It's Toronto, it's the White Sox, it's the Cardinals, and it's Diamondbacks. Like that's all the outfielders I want.
How are you different tonight? Or like that feels like where like the smart stuff is, although like there's nothing spectacular, but that's what, you know, if you're using optimizers to build lineups, so that's kind of where optimizers will point you. How are you going to be different? Or you're not necessarily shooting for that and you're playing in smaller fields, so who cares?
I'll call him A, I'll call him B.
Yeah. All right. Kirk, do you have some outfielders?
He missed the number one play on the slate, who was right in that price range. The Cuban Missile, Adolis Garcia, 3,500 on DK.
Yeah.
Against Justice Sheffield. I mean, this dude's he's tied for the home run league, right? With Vlad. The guy's Statcast stuff is incredible. He's up there in all of his metrics for hard contact, everything. I mean, this dude is has legit power. Somehow, I mean, I don't know where it was. I'm sure it was cooked up in a lab somewhere. I'm sure he's on that some special things. But I mean, I'm gonna keep playing this guy, and he's 3.5K. I love him. I also love Kelnick tonight, leading off against Jordan Lyles. I like the home run upside. I like that his price has moved up a little bit, and people kind of think that he was a little bit overhyped and whatnot, and probably won't get a ton of action tonight. So I like both of those guys in that game. I mean, this game could be a gold mine too if things go right.
I like Kelnick a little bit too. He's been overmatched. Like he's been striking out a ton, but Jordan Lyles doesn't seem like the kind of guy that's going to like, you know, fool him so much. And I believe in the talent long term. So I do think he is kind of interesting. And, you know, a lot of pitchers have made him look silly, but I think he's going to get there eventually. I don't mind. And just the outfield in general is not great. All right. Give me some stacks. We're going to yield to questions from the chat. Stack them up. Well, Grant, you already talked about your stack. So, Kirk Dees, what do you have for me as far as your favorite stacks tonight?
I mean, the White Sox are the number one stack. I mean, how do you get different though is the question. What are some of these overlooked stacks? I mean, to me, it's Texas, it's Seattle. Those are just somebody in that game. It's also picking on the San Diego Houston game. I think could you know, surprise people tonight, and that's going overlooked because of the two strong name value pitchers. But really, I don't expect both of them to go very long. And like I said, the Padres bullpen has been used up, and the Houston bullpen has just been ineffective and struggled to get out. So I like that. I like the Dodgers. Dodgers
lineup just came out. Not to cut you off, but it's Betts, Muncy, Turner, Smith, Lux batting 5, Taylor, Beatty, Sasugo, and then Bueller.
It's nice top 4, nice top 5 lineup there. I like that. Who is Lamont Wade?
I think he's like a speedster
leading off for San Fran.
I've heard the name before. I'm aware of his existence. I feel like he's like a retread.
I believe it's Lamonte.
Lamonte. I think it's Lamonte, actually.
You guys are both just guessing. Is it
there's an E at the end, so it must be Lamonte, right?
Oh, it must be. There's no other possible
Sorry,
scenario.
this guy was the one that taught our children for a little bit.
You're a teacher?
Yeah, I was once upon a time. Yeah, sure.
What'd you do?
I didn't teach.
You have an incident. You had to stay away from
there was no
children.
Incidents. There was 100% no incidents. There was no allegations. I just
ended up at Rotogrinders.
Yeah, you know. Moving on. You know, very very smooth transition to questions from the chat. And again, do subscribe, turn on notifications. Tonight's show is free. It's sponsored by Big Brain. The Crunch Time team will be playing after hours. You guys can play Big Brain. Get yourself a $50 deposit bonus. No promo necessary. And tonight's game is it's sports rules. There you go.
Sports rules.
Yeah. Well, it's not sports rules like yay sports. It's the rules of sports. That's the way I understand the topic, if that makes sense. Yeah. All right. Is Lametz getting any sort of pitch limit tonight? I'm filing up the questions here from chat. Not that I'm aware of, but like he hasn't gone beyond 3 or 4 innings all season long. You've been babying him forever. Like
and he's got massive injury history, you know.
Yeah, you can't roster him. Whoever wants to answer this one. Thoughts on a Houston stack? Anybody like Houston?
I'm not doing it, but it's fine.
DK GPP interest in Disco Stews, Disclafani.
I don't hate it. He's been solid this year.
He did get shellacked by this team last time out. If that scares you, I think he's a pretty
one
decent
game
pitcher.
sample size.
Yeah. how many lefties we're talking about? Muncy, Lux, Beatty's
He's
a
been
lefty,
better
right?
versus lefties this season.
Yeah, I mean, he's no worse than the Uber driver Dobnak that we're talking about. He's a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the Dodgers are scary in name, but they're still without some of their bigger bats. Obviously, Seager going to be gone for a long time, and Bellinger not back just yet. Is Walker Buehler worth it versus Sam? I think so. Yeah, he's
Not
worth
at the
it, right?
sacrifice of Cole.
Well,
But
yeah,
yes.
sure. There you go. Dean, who's your guy? Who is my guy? I'll get back to you on that. I'll come up with my guy soon enough. Does the wind blowing in at 23 miles an hour scare you off bats into the Toronto-Cleveland game? Does that scare anybody?
Not really.
I mean, it's a hefty. It depends if we get the full direction, if Roth confirms it, but it looks like it's blowing in 25 miles per hour.
Let me check out the weather edge.
You can't confirm it, Curtis, because
I know I put all my time into dew point. Okay, because that is what I've found over lots of data simulations to be the most effective predictor.
Well, the temperature there is 50 degrees and the dew point's 49.
Yeah, so it's not great for bats.
In a 6-game sample, if you care about 6-game samples, I don't, but it's seen a negative 48 expectancy as far as homers.
But only a 15% decrease in runs.
Yeah, but I mean, it's 6 games. Hit percentage here. I don't know what it is, but I will tell you that Baltimore has 4 lefties in the bullpen. So I would throw that out there. Well, who's lurking? Moncada? He's not hurt, right? He's just getting a day off. I don't think he's hurt. I'm just trying to think who's in the bench there for Chicago today.
Mendick.
Is Mendick not drawing a start? I don't think he is.
Mendick's in.
Yeah,
Mendick's in there.
Yeah, he just wanted to.
And it's Mendick's in the 8-hole.
Oh, well, Grant, the low-hanging fruits. Firing up some more questions here from chat. Texas bats for the late night hammer. Yeah, you like the Texas bats, don't you, Curtis?
I love it. I love the Cuban missile.
What about Gallo? Would you play? I mean, Gallo's been largely disappointing, and now he gets a lefty, and he's arguably a tournament play every night in theory with his tremendous power, but nobody's going to play on lefty on left, and he's been disappointing all season long.
Yeah. I'm on board.
This is for Grant. Are you on the Seattle stack?
Super draft, I have 100% Seattle stack, but that's only 3 lineups. I don't have it over on DK. I'm not against it. It's not a bad stack on DK. It's going to come in low owned. I might switch it depending on what Roth says about the weather in Toronto. I might switch my Toronto stack over to Seattle. I'm
assuming it's a really positive multiplier over there on Super Draft.
Yeah, well, I mean, you get like Lewis at 1.7. You get Klinick at 1.65. You get Seager and Haniger. Klinick.
Oh man, tournaments. Okay, so rank. Who has a preference? Kansas City and Texas. Stacks.
I prefer Texas.
I prefer Texas.
Wig wants to know San Diego stack tonight. Houston bullpen isn't that good. I mean, the bullpens are so weird to sort of gauge because you want to know if you're getting the belly of it, the good stuff, the bad stuff, and it's all sort of game dependent. And we do have a tool for that. If you guys are premium members, you can sort of check in. Then I don't know.
Is the tool's name Dean Chiavelson?
Well, no, that would be. Why would you name the? That would be a weird name. I mean, we have like
because you're a tool.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I see what you're getting at. DK best outfielder 3K and under. Off the dome, like Vaughn's got to be the answer, right?
Yeah.
You got anybody else?
Carlson.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 3K and under. Yeah.
Is he batting second, Carlson? We don't
think we have that lineup yet.
Yeah, but we're expecting Carlson to bat second tonight.
Or O'Neill.
Yeah, O'Neill's got plenty of power, and he came back last night from injury, kind of surprisingly.
Came through with a bomb last night.
He's got a ton of power for sure. Anybody know? Can we roster Ohtani at outfield on FanDuel and get pitcher points? No. That would be the ultimate cheat code. Although our what is it? Our stuff I was looking at earlier today was giving him like I think points on all in total. Like he was a projected like 54 points. I'm like, that's not. I'm like, something's wrong with that. I think we're adding in everything together. It doesn't.
I got a question for Grant.
Go on.
Can the Celtics cover tonight? The 8 points against the Nets.
My guess is there's probably like a 50% chance.
You know what?
You must be a professional at this, Grant.
This guy makes the lines over here.
I've taken the last few days week off of basketball. I'm gonna get back into it the second round.
Ref Snyder or Vaughn? We're gonna close out on that one. I mean, come on, we all like Vaughn. I mean, obviously ownership's gonna reflect that as well too. But does anybody want to give a pitch for Ref Snyder? I don't.
I have him just because it allows me to get Cole into my stack, into my whatever stack.
He's been raking, and it's you're getting that, it's ownership play for sure. I mean, you got to like that whole lineup tonight, the Twins, Kirilloff, Garver, Cruz, Donaldson. I know my man Cheese, who's coming up here, is going to like some of them.
Yeah, let's end strong as we hand off and do a little crosstalk. But all right, can I fade Cole if I hate money? If you hate money, you can. Yeah, sure, right? You can fade Cole?
Yeah. Yeah, if you just want to donate to the rake.
There you go. Hey, is Chief Meteorologist Kevin Roth there?
That's me. Hey, what's happening, guys?
What's up, Roth? We're all eagerly anticipating your most up-to-date update as far as weather. What's going on? What do you have for us?
Okay, I think I've come to this fairly simple conclusion. The two games that are left that we're worried about are Boston and Chicago. And if we don't hear anything leading up to Boston, that's probably a good sign. That means, crazy as it seems, they're probably going to try to play it in the rain. If in Chicago we don't hear anything leading up to lock, it's probably a bad thing, because I think in Chicago they better announce a late start, otherwise that game's getting scrapped. Like one of those two things is happening. So if we don't hear of a late start leading up to lock in Chicago, I'm pretty nervous. If we don't hear anything in Boston leading up to lock, I guess they're going to try to play, which again, even if they try, I don't know if it's going to work. My thoughts would be in cash, I would not play either of these games. But if you want to go for it in tournaments,
Toronto or is Cleveland good?
Yeah, I think Cleveland looks pretty good. It's, garbage weather, but I think
so. Probably stay away from bats there.
Oh, just because it's garbage weather? Yes. Sorry, I was
son of a biscuit.
But if I think in Cleveland winds are blowing in and it's 40-something degrees. It's just, it's not good hitting weather whatsoever. Detroit is a game where, again, it's cold, but those winds are blowing out to right at, 20 miles per hour, which is a whole lot better than blowing in. That's pretty much it as far as the weather goes.
Appreciate it, Roth. We're going to step aside, hand the baton off to you. Yourself, Cheese is lurking, Tuttle is lurking. For Kirk Deese, for Grant, I was Dean, for Devin as well. This was baseball. That was the appetizer. Here comes the entree. We're out of here. Holler.
Hey, kids.
I guess we're the entree, guys. The entree here being one Mr. Dave Potts, a.k.a. Cheese is Good, and also Mr. Tuttle. Cheese, we'll start with you. How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. As per usual, like you've said a couple times, they are doing better about giving us a couple hours on these games. I mean, it's annoying to some extent when you work all day on this stuff and but I mean, even 30 minutes ahead of time, this is fine. So I can live with this stuff. I hope we hear on these other two games, and I'm doing fine.
Agreed. Yes, it's way better than 5 minutes after lock and everybody loses their money. And that's what we're trying to do here in the next 40 minutes, is to keep that situation from happening. I'm going to be giving you weather updates, as I see them, and hopefully we can make the right weather call here and just, make the right call with some of these players in general. We also have Dan, aka Mr. Tuttle. Literally never called you Dan. That felt weird. We got Tuttle hanging out.
Danny boy.
I was like, is that his name? What's up, Tuttle? How are you?
I'm good. I saw Grant on the last show though, and he looked really nice with his slick back hair. I feel a little underwhelming.
No, you look wonderful as well in your. Is that a DK hoodie you got?
Yeah, just the crown guy.
Way to rep. I like it. Guys, I kind of gave my weather report to start. I don't have a whole lot more to add other than that, at least not yet. We're going to circle back towards the end of this, and I'll give you kind of a final breakdown of what we're seeing. But I think we start talking about some of these pitchers. And Cheese, would you like to begin with that?
Sure. So, I mean, it's Garrett Cole, and then it's a just ginormous gap, and then it's everybody else. This is not one of those days where you goof around and maybe you pivot off Cole. Like, you play him in. I mean, if you're doing like 150 lineups, maybe you only play him in 120. But just play Garrett Cole. Like, you're being silly not to in any sort of primary lineups. I have. Like on FanDuel, I do have 150 lineups. I made a few without Cole just as a goof. But play Cole.
Okay.
Once you get past him, I'll do FanDuel first. Like, Sean Manaea is so cheap. Really, to me, he's the only other guy. Like, it's viable to do a couple of Walker Buehler lineups. And still Walker Buehler. The guy's really good. It's not out of the realm of possibility that Cole has an off night and Buehler outscores him. But basically Cole, Buehler, and then cheap Sean Manaea is my whole FanDuel player pool.
Okay, well, we still need a second pitcher over on DK after Cole.
Yeah, so it's trickier there. Really, the best thing to do is Cole and Buehler, and there are enough values to make it happen. I would do that in cash games, but there's a pretty big gap down to the group of Ryu, Manaea, and Ohtani. I really like all three of those guys. I would lean Ryu in cash games if you can live in that 8K range. As far as just looking for a solid game without a lot of risk, I think it's Ryu. Cheap stuff, I like Randy Dobnak the best of the sub 6K pitchers. Your other option down there is Jordan Lyles against Seattle. I've actually got more Seattle bats interest than I have in Lyles. So to me, it's Dobnak if you need to go cheap. Ideally, get up to one of that between Ohtani and Manaea, 78 to 8,500 range if you can't get Buehler as your SP2.
All right, Tuttle, I don't know. It doesn't seem like a slate with a lot of hot takes. It seems pretty cut and dry, but do you have some tournament takes for us?
Yeah, not a lot of hot takes. I will say Ryu is a guy that I was not on much at all to start the day, and I'm liking him a lot more now. We mentioned that weather is just terrible in Cleveland. That's one of the reasons. This Cleveland lineup is more watered down now than we're used to. Luplow now on the IL too, so another right-handed bat. He doesn't have to face him or Franmil Reyes or anything like that. So it's a good matchup for him. And then we got the weather to add into it. Like, don't expect a ton of Ks there, but he's a guy that I could legitimately see going 7 to 9 innings and shutting him out. So I think he's a really good option, and I agree with Cheese that he would be my, if you're not spending up on Buehler, he would be my preferred SP2 in cash games. Justice Sheffield, I don't think Cheese mentioned, and he's tough to play on DraftKings at the price, but he's 6,400 on FanDuel. Again, it's something you don't really need on FanDuel. You only have one pitcher. I kind of agree. You just kind of center it around the main couple of guys with Cole and Manaea. But if you want to go out on a limb and you want to get kind of different build, then I do think Sheffield is certainly okay for tournaments.
Okay, great. That was simple enough. Quick weather question for you guys. How are you handling these weather games? What are you avoiding and what are you okay risking? Tuttle, I'll start with you.
Yeah, I'm avoiding it all.
Nice. I love that.
I mean, I just don't want to deal with it, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, part of it's laziness. But the other part is, like, if the game plays, we don't have great hitting environments anyway. Like, yes, the matchup against Matt Harvey is obviously extremely good in Chicago and for Chicago bats, but it's really a lot better for left-handed bats. And we have Grandal. We don't have Moncada in the lineup. So it's like, you can pay up for Grandal still if you really want to on DraftKings at catcher, but I don't think you're missing out on a ton. Fine for tournaments, whatever, but I just don't think it's like a spot you really have to force. Boston bats would be the other spot that you're probably looking at. I'm a little bit more comfortable there, just because I think they have more upside, all things considered. But yeah, I'm just avoiding it.
Okay, I think that makes sense. Cheese, you
So-
got a take or a lean here?
Yeah, it's like as we were sort of pre-showing, I removed my core tag from Grandal. I don't think you play that in cash. He's a Chicago White Sox batter.
Thank you. I don't know where these people
Yeah,
are.
Chicago. So I think don't mess with those games in cash. I had X'd out Boston early in the day, and I don't like him enough to add him back in.
Mhm.
And so I've got this CSV sitting here with no bats in that Chicago game,
Gotcha.
and I'm not going to decide for another 20 minutes, but my guess is I'll just skip it altogether.
Okay, Chicago and Boston.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe Chicago's groundskeeper guy is named Roger. They sent out a tweet last night that Roger, Roger said something. So we'll be looking for news from Roger tonight.
I'm sorry. You think his name is Roger?
Yeah.
Do you know who he is?
No, like they legit sent out a tweet last night. I'll see if I can bring it up.
You don't know about Chicago's groundskeeper?
Well, no, but so it's Rod. He's got the nickname. I forget what the nickname is, but
Sodfather.
The Sod Father.
That's why I was confused. I was like,
Sodfather.
That's why I was confused if I was getting it mixed up, because I'm like, why would you call him Roger?
I have no idea. If you've got the nickname the Sod Father, you stick with the Sod Father if you're a groundskeeper.
Right.
But yes, I will have to look up the Sod Father's latest here as you guys talk about some of these bats.
But the other thing to mention, like, so we've got an extra hour on that game.
Right.
And we do have, the Arizona game, which is probably next best for bats, and that Texas-Seattle game are later at night. So you don't absolutely have to make that decision at lock.
That's good.
Most of what I'm pivoting to is after that anyway.
Okay, that is really good to hear, actually. I think that is something pretty positive, and it is a good reason where if you're trying to choose one of these spots, Boston or Chicago, maybe you buy yourself a little extra time there with Chicago bats, preferably tournaments. Again, not a safe cash move.
Because it seems like if they're going to give us the late start, we might not hear it till after lock, since there's a whole other hour.
I know, that'd be so obnoxious of them. They just need to consider us for DFS and not do that. Okay, by the way, a lot of people are probably just joining us because our normal crunch time show starts now at 5:30. So could you both just do a super quick run through here on pitchers, just bing, bang, boom, and then we'll talk about some of these hitters? Cheese?
FanDuel, just play Garrett Cole, and if you can't, Sean Manaea. That's kind of your whole pool. I mean, sure, a little Bueller. DraftKings, if you can afford Cole, Bueller, that's what you do. If you can't afford Bueller, still play Cole. I like Ryu the best in the mid-tier. Good with Ohtani and Manaea as well. My favorite cheap guy is Dobnak.
Tuttle, anything different that you'd like to add there? No.
Nothing to add.
Nope, we're in agreement. All right, great. Let's talk about some of these bats. By the way, I'll give another weather update coming up. Bottom line right now is in cash. I wouldn't play Chicago, and I wouldn't play Boston. And if we don't hear anything in Boston leading up to lock, I guess that means they're going to try to play. And it's wet and it's cold and it's terrible, but I guess they're going to try if we don't hear anything. But man, I'm honestly very surprised they haven't postponed this game already, knowing what's coming later tonight. Let's talk about the bats, though. Tuttle, you can lead us off there. Let's talk about the glorious position of catcher.
The glorious.
Yeah, trying to pump it up a little.
So the funny thing here is, so we have a glorious tool on Rotogrinders called Slate IQ that I do have open here. Mm-hmm. And it has broken the last couple of days. You can run a job. It's all automated, blah, blah, blah. But it's broken on the last couple of days because of this fella. And I don't even know how to pronounce his name. But if you sort by Derek Carty's projections, point per dollar, Jose Godoy, I don't know how to say the last name. Cheese might have the pronunciation for me.
That's how I say it.
So hilariously, he has broken the last the Slate IQ from running the last couple of days accurately.
Wait,
because
why?
he's got the Enye, is that what it's called, right?
Oh,
the little thing.
Yeah, he's got the swivel over his name, so it's caused a lot of chaos in the back end for Jamino and Beimpour, and so it was just funny to see him. But he's 2K and going up against Lyles. Like if you just want to completely punt the position, he's the guy that I would go with. With that said, I will say there are some actually really decent high-end bats here. I'm kind of with Cheese. He mentioned he took the Grandal core tag off. I'm probably avoiding him and, again, the White Sox in general. And if you do that, I think Carson Kelly would be the next guy that I would spend up for. Diamondbacks are one of the better matchups of the night. Better hitting environments, one of the better hitting environments of the night. So I do like Carson Kelly quite a bit as kind of the spend up option. But Godoy would be kind of the low end range. If you wanted to go in the mid tier, Yadier against Bumgarner, and then Jorge Alfaro, if you wanted to risk bats in that Boston game, has the platoon against Martin Perez, and I think he could do worse than playing him.
All right, Cheese, catcher, anything different?
No, I would. So kind of around Carson Kelly, I like Garver and Will Smith, but I agree like Kelly's sort of my favorite out of it. Assuming you're not going to play Grandal, I would just pivot straight to Kelly for cash.
Okay. The light rain has started in Fenway, and now is the time they're going to send the tweet. I feel it. In the next 5 minutes, they're going to say, I don't know what we were doing. I don't know why we were joking around for so long. In the next 5 minutes, they're going to realize this is a very poor choice. Okay, let's talk about first base. Cheese.
Yeah, Goldschmidt's the guy. Like salary wise, he's just way too cheap.
What is that price tag? What is it?
That is silly.
It
Do
is.
you want the actual number, or do you want?
I want the actual number.
It's dumb. It's so dumb.
Okay, I didn't know if you're looking for $3,900 or silly or absurd but it's too low.
Okay.
And even on FanDuel at 3,100, Vlad Guerrero being 6,200 on this slate, it's just weird. I mean, sure, but spending up wise, I like Muncy, but I just play Goldschmidt. Like, what is happening? I'm fine with Miguel Sano in tournaments, or sure spend up here and there for Vlad or Muncy, but just play Goldschmidt.
All right, Tuttle.
Yeah, Pavin Smith would be the guy I would throw in. Mention the Diamondback bats are one of the better spots of the night. They'll be chalk. Smith has outfield eligibility on FanDuel, I believe, and is cheap there. He's cheap on DraftKings as well, but I can't foresee playing him over Goldschmidt in cash games. I think that's mostly. I'm semi-interested in some Kansas City bats, but I don't think Carlos Santana makes the cut for me. But I do think they could kind of be a sneaky stack, so I would leave him in for stacks for sure. But in terms of his one-offs, I'm not really feeling Santana there.
All right, take us to second base, Tuttle.
Yeah, second base. So again, a Diamondback hitter stands out as a really good play. Very cheap on FanDuel specifically. He's 2,300 on FanDuel. Josh Rojas, cheap on DraftKings at 3,600. I do prefer playing him. He's got the second base and outfield eligibility on DraftKings, as you can see here. Do much prefer playing him at second base because second base is not a very good position. Yeah, like we usually have.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think Rojas is the cash game option there. Max Muncy has that positional flexibility. You can play Muncy at second base if you really want to. I think he's a pretty decent spend. This is a spot where I do like one of those Kansas City bats I was mentioning in tournaments with Merrifield. I kind of like the mini stack of Merrifield and Adalberto Mondesi as well as Benintendi then too. It is a pretty good stolen base matchup. Dobnak allows a lot of contact. He's pretty neutral in terms of holding runners, but Garver's been not very good in terms of stolen base prevention throughout his career. So I do like some of these speedy Kansas City guys, and Whit Merrifield would be one of those guys at second base.
Cheese, second.
Yeah, on FanDuel, it's Eduardo Escobar, but he is not second base eligible on DraftKings. And the Josh Rojas, which I agree,
Shortstop.
I think you play him at shortstop on FanDuel, play Escobar second. Otherwise, I think Tuttle pretty much nailed it all there.
Okay, third base, generally a little bit more exciting, but you know what else is exciting, guys? A free crunch time, which is what's happening right now. This is free to the people on YouTube. This is thanks to Big Brain. They are sponsoring the show. After the show, we're doing a trivia on
baby.
Big Brain. Big Brain is like if trivia met DFS. That's what it is. You enter tournaments, you wager, you put in an entry fee. And today it is Sports Rules is our trivia contest that Cheese, Tuttle, and I will be doing after the show. So if you download the Big Brain app now, you get 100% deposit bonus up to $50. So download it now. We'll walk you through signing up, and then we will all have some trivia after this. Thanks, Big Brain. Okay, now back to a little third base.
Yeah, so it's pretty tricky on DraftKings. FanDuel, it's not as tricky because you can play two of them and play several of them at other positions. DraftKings, I want to like Eduardo Escobar the best, and I guess I do, but I love Kyle Seager tonight. I like Justin Turner and Nolan Arenado. And then I kind of like that, like San Diego, Houston is the game that like, there's kind of no reason to play anyone, but there's kind of reason to play everyone. And like Machado and Bregman are going to be forgotten about because of how good the position is around them. So I think you spread out at third base. But my favorites would be Seager and Escobar. And then on FanDuel, I think that's why you play Escobar at second. You probably play 2 third basemen. We didn't mention everyone's favorite Rougned Odor is minimum salary on FanDuel.
Yes.
Another second and third base eligible guy. But like all these guys are cheaper on FanDuel. Like Turner, Donaldson, Seager, all under 3K. Bregman and Machado just barely over 3K. It's loaded.
Did you open up FanDuel and be like, I want your reactions on pricing, for when you open the FanDuel slate?
I mean, every day it's like I expect a few more of these guys will be priced up because like they did with Vlad. Like Vlad is 4,600. Like that seems about right. Yeah. Why is nobody else over 3,500 at third base? Like it's really, I don't understand it.
Yeah, I opened it up. I saw Garrett Cole at 12 too. I'm like, oh, okay. You know,
maybe we can't get him.
Yeah, maybe we can't get him. Maybe we have some decisions to make. And then I went through every other position, and there are like legit guys that are under 3K at every position.
I have lineups with Cole and $1,000 left in salary.
Yes, it's unbelievable.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, Tuttle, anything different there at third, or play whoever you want?
Play whoever you want. Donaldson was somebody not mentioned. I don't think. Maybe he was.
Passing, but yeah.
Rendon is a one-off. I don't like the Angels' offense as a stack. They're pretty watered down without Trout in there, but Rendon is a one-off. Would be the other guy.
Okay, let's go to shortstop. Tuttle, you can start there.
Yeah, so this is where I meant those KC speedsters. Mondesi is probably too cheap for what he is. Now batting 5th on DraftKings. I think he is a fine option. This is where I would potentially play like a Tim Anderson if I wanted to spend up, but now we don't really have to do that with kind of weather concerns there. For tournaments, somebody I would be looking at, Gavin Lux. I like the Dodgers left-handed bats quite a bit in this spot. So Muncy, Lux would be the other guy. Dodgers in general, I think, make for a pretty strong stack overall. And then she's kind of hit it with the Houston-San Diego game. We have some talented shortstops here that might not see huge ownership just because it's some decent pitching, but it's going to be probably a decent amount of the bullpen in this game as well. So Fernando Tatis, we're showing 12% ownership on DraftKings. I think he's fine. But even then Correa on the other side, like not many people are going to be playing Carlos Correa at 5K in this matchup. And I think he's a pretty decent tournament option.
All right. Cheese.
Yeah. Like you can definitely pay up and get something amazing and be different. Like Tatis won't go as underowned as Machado and Bregman. But both of these shortstops will go like crazy underowned. If we lose the White Sox game completely, like if it gets postponed, then I think Tatis moves up because a lot of that Anderson's pretty high and his ownership has to go somewhere, and it's not going to go to Bogarts for the same reason. Bogarts. Yeah, I'm also on Gavin Lux. I like him on his own or in a little mini Dodgers stack. I think you can play some Yankees here too. Torres and Urshela are both shortstop eligible on DraftKings. Yeah, I think the Yankees in general, I just think are another team that nobody's really going to play as much as they probably should because they're the Yankees.
Okay. We got outfield as well. And then a good question coming in. Oh, yes. Tuttle.
I'm going to bring up Kevin Roth's MLB Weather Edge tool here.
Oh, bring it.
Because that New York game's interesting, right? Because it's like, hey, winds are blowing way far out, but it's cold. We only have a 7-game sample. I was hoping for more. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
It's shown decent hitting conditions in the past.
I noticed that too. I was kind of excited. And that's what's great about this tool is that it helps you see, okay, look, the temperature is bad for hitters, but the winds are good for hitters. So which has historically won out? And this is a great example of that. But sadly, there's not a lot of crazy weather like this that we can
not a huge sample
weather games. So we only have what it was like a 7-game sample. 7-game sample size. But yeah, it's not garbage over those 7 games. Like they've done things.
Right. It's been a bump to bats. And
Right.
I think that's kind of matches Cheese's point. Like the Yankees aren't going to be very highly owned. And you could make the argument that it's okay hitting weather at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going up against a contact pitcher. So yeah, I like the shortstop calls there from Cheese.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the outfield. Cheese, I think you get to start there.
Yeah. So we've lost a lot of the best outfielders. And so as far as spending up, like I don't think you need Mookie Betts here. I don't think you need Nelson Cruz, Aaron Judge, Stanton's back. I don't think you have to have any of these guys, but certainly they're all great. I like Mitch Haniger pretty much even as much as those other guys tonight. DraftKings, you can do a lot in the low to mid tier. That's the Diamondbacks guys. Peralta, Rojas is in the outfield. Tyler O'Neill is $3K on DraftKings, as is Dylan Carlson. You can very easily go cheap if you want to. I like Adolis Garcia as well. FanDuel, some of those better outfielders are cheaper. Like, Judge is 36, Stanton's 3K, Haniger's 3.3. It's not that hard to just play the actual good outfielders there. You don't really have to punt as much.
Okay.
Yeah. There you go.
Tuttle, outfield. Thanks, Cheese. Sorry, I thought we were done with outfield, but no. I'm looking at radar. All right, Tuttle. Anything there in the outfield you want to add?
No, I mean I like the Cheese mentioned Haniger. I like the other cheap Seattle bats too. Kelenick's too cheap. Kyle Lewis is too cheap on DraftKings. But I'll let you talk about weather. I think that's almost more important right now.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. I mean, I don't have anything. I was just looking at radar. It's light rain right now in Fenway. They haven't said anything, and the fact that they haven't said anything makes me think they're really going to do it. I wouldn't do it in cash either way, but if you want to throw in a stack and see where it gets you, go for it. Legitimately concerned that even if they do start in the light rain, they can't finish it. But generally, once a team starts, it takes some pretty heavy rain to get them to stop. So if they decide they want to play in this rain, then maybe that's what they'll do. I'm just really surprised that, they know what's coming and they haven't postponed it. And then no changes in Chicago. I think they can late start it if they so choose. NBA Live says DK Cash, avoid Boston game. Man, I would. If it were my money, I wouldn't do it. And you guys aren't doing it either, right?
Yeah, I agree. I would. There's no reason to mess with that. There's enough other options.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk stacks really quick. Maybe there's something sneaky out there. Tuttle, you want to start?
Yeah, the sneaky stack for me again would be those KC bats. I think chalk is going to end up being the St. Louis Arizona game in general. I think both sides of that game are going to be pretty high owned. I'll be interested to see. I don't know if we ran updated ownerships yet for who will be the highest owned stack, because if we think ownership concentrates on that St. Louis Arizona game, then I like the Dodgers significantly as kind of the late game stack pivot there. Let's see, total ownership. We still have Boston coming in heavy. I would assume that decreases a little bit with the weather concerns. Same thing for Chicago. But then again, then we're starting to get to the St. Louis and other teams. Kansas City would be the kind of the under the radar stack for me. And then Dodgers is the other one I like quite a bit.
Cheese stacks.
Yeah. So I think if we don't get any late starts or postponements, I think the White Sox will still end up pretty chalky because they would have been the definite chalk with no weather. So if we don't hear news, I think they still end up chalky. And I think the Diamondbacks are pretty much the next chalkiest team, and they'll be the chalkiest if we get a postponement in Chicago. I agree. The Dodgers are interesting. I like the Mariners as another sort of off the radar stack. I'm not sure what happens with the Twins and the Yankees. I think they end up kind of not that much higher than that Houston-San Diego game we talked about. It's kind of a weird slate where this is a whole bunch of really good teams on what is now kind of a smaller slate that nobody's playing because everyone's playing Arizona. Like, that doesn't sound quite right. So I'm now kind of going a little over on the good teams: Yankees, Dodgers, Twins, Padres. Because I don't want to go overboard on St. Louis, Arizona. That just doesn't seem quite right to me.
Okay. Just got a tweet from a beat writer, from a beat guy in a beat dude in Boston. He says players are on the field, they're warming up.
Well, that's great. I'm happy for him.
Are you going to?
I have 0. I will have 0.
Okay.
Let me say
any
I
interest
fade.
in a Boston stack or a stack in that game?
I don't think you're doing anything wrong to do it. I have 0 and I will have 0, but I would not tell you shouldn't play a Boston stack in a tournament. If they're trying to play, they're trying to play, and maybe they play.
They sure were fine forcing in the game a couple nights ago. That's for sure.
Did they just play through a horrific rain?
Yeah, that was what, 2 nights?
Amnesia.
That was 2-3 nights ago, where Washington was the one that called it early, and Boston had like a 4-hour delay, and
they just sat there.
Had the worst. Yeah, they just sat there and they played.
Right.
I mean, a lot of it does matter on the person making these decisions. They've kind of shown stubbornness in the past.
That's true. Yeah, that's right. They finished that game at like 1 a.m.
But what you're saying here is the rain's not. They're not going to be dry after the rain. Like that night, it stopped eventually.
Right. That's not happening tonight. It's just it looks like they're gonna play in the light rain, and they're gonna continue. The rain's gonna get heavier.
Like if they delay, they don't have the same thing they're waiting for to come back.
No. So there's no waiting. Yeah, you play it, and you're gonna get rained on all game, and that rain's just gonna get heavier as it goes. But generally, once you start these games in the rain, I've shown teams with just an incredible propensity to just get rained on all game once it starts. So I think that is a good sign. I still wouldn't do it in cash. I still think it's risky, but if you want to roll out some tournaments, okay, all right, well, go for it. All right, a few more questions here. JP says Will Myers versus a lefty. Cheese, you like Will Myers versus a lefty?
Yeah, he's another one of those outfielders that's just too cheap. I think you should have him in. Like, as far as a one-off, I think he makes a little more sense than the cheap Cardinals that everybody's playing.
Green Bay Stan says, I'm only playing one lineup in a DK GPP. It's a 2v2. Tuttle, you like Cole Bueller with a 5-man Arizona stack or Cole Randy with a 5-man Yankee stack?
This is just single entry. You said?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll eat the chalk on the first one.
All right. Cheese, any interest in War Eagle, Casey Mize, SP2, DK tournaments?
So I don't have any. Like, he's turned it around, and theoretically, it's a good-ish matchup because they're so right-handed, and he is good against righties. But, I mean, officially, no, I'm playing Yankee spats here.
All right. Does Deuteronomy says, does the wind blowing in Cleveland scare you off bats? 20-mile-per-hour wind blowing in from right, temperature of around 50 degrees.
I don't like bats there.
Cheese?
I still have some Toronto. It definitely doesn't scare me off Toronto, but it's not like they're a top team. Anyway, they're up there, and I'm still playing them. But I don't like them as much as the Yankees at this point.
Okay. DK Cash, Tuttle, you want Myers Cruz or O'Neal Muncy?
O'Neal Muncy.
NBA Live, DK Cash. We keep so White Sox player is the next one that people are asking about. And Cheese, I kind of like what you said about that. We can buy ourselves time in that game, you feel like, with the White Sox.
Yeah, I don't think you have to decide right now not to play. So you have another hour. And everything you would switch to, I mean, you've got so much in that Arizona-St. Louis game and other games to switch to. So at this point, I would say don't play it in cash. But if you want to wait, I think you're okay to wait.
Right. You've got an extra hour. You liked the options back behind that. And maybe they'll announce a late start. And if they announce a late start, great. That game absolutely can play if they want to late start it. But it's not going to play on time. Achilles says, DK Cash, 3v3 here. Ahmed Carlson Kelnick or Edmund Locastro Myers. I don't know who that was for. I probably should have called one of you out. Tuttle, DK Cash, Ahmed Carlson Kelnick or Edmund Locastro Myers?
I think we want to look for value different places than Locastro and Ahmed. If I'm picking between the two sides, I'm going to go with number one there.
Okay. Cheese, first off, Devin, would you be able to take questions after this for a little bit? All right. Cheese Achilles says, any love for Mondesi and DK Cash?
Tuttle had a little bit. I wouldn't play him in cash, but it's not terrible. And I know Tuttle likes him a little bit.
Thank you for not telling me that.
Ready if you need me there, Roth.
All right. Yeah. Jump in for me, please.
All right. Jumping in with Matt Hack. Have we heard if the roof in Arizona is open or closed?
Supposed to be open last I heard.
Perfect. NBA Live. DK Cash for Cheese, we'll say. Yasmani and Kemp or Carson Kelly and Pham?
At this point, I think you don't play the White Sox in cash, so the Kelly Pham side.
All right, let's jump to the YouTube chat. Don't forget to hit that like button. Take a couple of questions from here. Greek wanted to know, Minnesota stack, are you on it, Tuttle?
Yeah, they're a good stack for sure. Right-handed bats.
And Darren wanted to know any more weather news in the O's and Sox game, so we'll get to that shortly. Let's see, and that's all the questions, so we'll jump back to Discord for now. Achilles, DK Cash, Grandal, Vaughn, or Kelly Myers, Cheese?
Kelly Myers. I think at this point, if in doubt, don't play the White Sox side in cash. That's just what I would do.
All right. B-Way then, DK Cash, Tuttle, Turner and O'Neill, or Donaldson, Benintendi?
Number one there, Turner O'Neill.
All right. Tuttle, we'll stick with you. ECS wants to know, DK Cash, catcher Webster Rivas at the men batting 8th with the platoon advantage. Are you playing him?
No, I like Godoy for Seattle at the men if you need him.
Going for
We
the
call
tilde.
him Enye. We call him
Yeah,
Enye.
Enye.
Yeah, there we go.
I can hop back in, Dan.
Yep,
I
go right
appreciate
ahead.
that. All right. Secret says, hey, sorry, I missed those pictures. Who were each of your favorites? DK Cash, SP2. Cheese, you like the double spend up option.
Yeah, I like Bueller. And if you can't afford him, it's really salary dependent. It's Ryu in the middle or Dobnak cheap.
Okay. I feel like you've answered that pretty well. Achilles, Tuttle, do you like Ahmed or Mondesi in DK Cash? You said you do like Mondesi a bit.
I want Cheese to answer that because Mondesi would be my clear answer there.
Okay.
I would play Mondesi ahead of Ahmed.
Great. All right. Chili Mac says, Tuttle, would you play Vlad Jr. or Judge on DK? I guess if you're spending up.
I like Judge better.
B-Dub says, DK Cash, Cheese, you want Turner O'Neill or Donaldson Benintendi?
Turner O'Neill.
RC player says, Cheese, what do you know about your boy Godoy? Godoy, mate.
Godoy.
That's what someone else said.
Yeah.
Godoy, mate.
He's not like there's no power, no speed, but he's a decent hitter. Like he can make contact. He'll take walk. Like he's the kind of guy that when he's free like this, he's okay to play. Like if Seattle scores runs at some point, he'll probably be in on it because he's not just going to strike out a bunch. Like he's a decent real life hitter.
Okay. Get to that in a bit. Just catching up on the YouTube there. Everything looks good. Jay says, DK single entry, Seattle full 5-man or 3-man stack?
I think there's enough there where you can 5-man it.
It's actually, guys, all of the questions. So if you have more questions, this applies to the YouTube chat as well. Now's the time to get in those questions because soon we're doing trivia with Big Brain. So download the Big Brain app now. Get in on the sports rules trivia contest that starts in 30 minutes. Achilles,
get in on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna get crushed in that one. Achilles says, FanDuel Cash, Cruz Seager or Haniger Grandal if the news is good.
I mean, if the news is good, I want Grandal. I'll go Haniger Grandal.
All right. Zach says over on the YouTube chat, what's your favorite spend up bat on FanDuel, Tuttle? You've got all the money in the world over there, I do believe. So
Let me go over to FanDuel.com. Yeah, it's probably Mookie. I think
There's only 3 bats, I think,
Yeah, that
on
you
the
can really
whole
spend
slate
up
over
on.
4K. It's crazy.
Mookie is not even over 4K on
Yeah.
FanDuel. Mookie's the answer, though, yeah.
okay. I was just looking at radar. Another bomb for the Cuban Missile tonight. Who's the Cuban Missile?
Probably Adalis Garcia. I've not heard him called that, but
Yeah. Okay. It is.
yes, I like him a very good bit tonight.
Violin or nope, that says violent. It's violent, not violin. It's a lot of numbers that look like letters, like a 3. Anyways, Texas, is that a sneaky stack? You like a Texas sneaky stack?
I do think it's pretty sneaky. And yeah, well, I prefer the Seattle side. I do think either side of that game could easily be worth it. So yeah.
All right, thank you, Violent. Ethan says, is Cole a lock on FanDuel?
Yes.
Derek, DKGPP, Kelly O'Neill or Smith Myers?
Kelly O'Neill or Smith Myers? Kelly O'Neill.
All right. Joey says DKGPP, Carlson or O'Neill?
Flip a coin. I don't. I'll take O'Neill, but it's very tight.
All right. B Daily, DK Cash, Adolis Garcia, who may or may not be the Cuban Missile. Or Fam.
I like Adolis Garcia, the Cuban Missile.
Okay. Jay says DK Cash 2v2, Escobar Fam or Donaldson Peralta?
Escobar Fam.
Diggs, DKGPP, Judge or Stanton?
Judge, but that's always a coin flip, but I would go Judge.
Yeah. All right. Greek says, what are your thoughts on the Cuban Missile and DK Cash? Were we okay with him on Cash?
Yeah, he's too cheap on DK.
New York Jet says, would you take the gamble on Boston if you're in that 767-person FanDuel qualifier? Hell to the yes. I would. John Tom says, DKGPP, Sal Perez Otani or Ryu Kelly?
I like Ryu Kelly.
Am I stupid with a 5-man card stack in DK Cash?
I think that's too much.
Achilles, Edman or Seager, FanDuel Cash?
I'll go Seager there.
PF says, is Otani viable for revenge narrative? Revenge against public transportation. That was a fun story.
Yes.
Morning Napalm Cheese. O'Neal Ahmed or Edmund Rojas?
Edmund Rojas. And yes, Otani is viable.
Okay. BHB, DK Cash, Arenado O'Neal or Escobar Tucker?
I'll go Escobar Tucker there.
Trobe, we got 2 minutes left. DK Cash, Ryu Muncy or Bueller Myers?
Bueller Myers.
Alvin says, gut call, do the White Sox play? Yes. Yes. Jay says, DK single entry, better one off Tucker or Gallo?
I prefer Tucker there.
Achilles, FanDuel Cash, bets Carlson or Edmund Grandal, weather permitting?
Edmund Grandal.
KKC says, FanDuel, 4-man Dodger stack. Who are they?
FanDuel 4-man. Give me 1 through 3 plus Lux.
Nice. FanDuel single entry, LeMahieu or Samp? Samp. S-A-M-P. Is that a person?
I don't know what that means.
Sano? Maybe it means Sano. P-N-O or close.
That could be. I would go Sano if that's it. Good. Very good. You know what's up.
Wow. Dan says, is the rain in Boston light? Yes, it is very light right now. The later we go, the heavier it gets. And it's going to rain literally all game. But it looks like they're going to play. And so I think they're going to play through it. So does DK lock at 7:05? Jay says, is FanDuel slate lock at 7:10 and DK 7:05? Is that right?
Oh, I didn't see
DK is definitely locking in 30 seconds.
Okay.
FanDuel is 10 after.
Is there a difference in the game? Is one of the games not included on FanDuel?
It got postponed.
It was one of the postponed ones. So there isn't actually a game starting until 10 after.
Gotcha. Okay.
Let me just say this. Google I don't know if you guys ever heard of Google, has never heard of the nickname Cuban Missile for Adolis Garcia. That tells me that I'm not the only one. Google knows things about things.
Yeah. Well, we should try another obscure nickname and see if Google knows it. Like Keldon Johnson is Big Body Johnson, but it's not a very popular nickname. In fact, I'm the only one who shouts it all the time. So
Are you the only one who says it at all?
No. I think it's a real deal. NBA, Big
Oh,
Body.
Google knows it. Absolutely. It's all over the Google. Because,
Is it?
Yeah, like the first 5 results.
Yeah,
Keldon,
you're right.
Big Body,
Yeah.
Body Johnson.
And that's a pretty obscure nickname. So
Well,
Google knows
you
that.
don't need to Google it because Google doesn't know, because it doesn't exist. It's not there.
That's the thing.
It's heard of the Cuban Missile Crisis from the
Sure.
60s. It's heard of
You'd expect
Adolis
that.
Garcia, the batter from Cuba.
Right.
Yes.
And there's the other thing about that nickname is that there's been a lot of great batters from Cuba. He is not the first person who some announcer has called the Cuban Missile. I'm sure Jose Abreu was called the Cuban Missile by some White Sox announcer. Gophers fan in the chat says,
Yeah, Puig. I think Puig actually is the Cuban Missile. I think that.
Yes, he is 100%.
Yeah, that's a stolen nickname.
Mention it, yeah.
What is even happening here?
There you go. All right. Gophers fan says, I lost to the weatherman at sports trivia sober 2 weeks ago. I'm back at it drunk this week to redeem myself. I like that plan. Get a little sauced up. That'll help. Yeah, guys, we've gotten to the time here where we will still take questions. We're going to go over some of the tools that we have on Rotogrinders. Also, I might make up a random trivia question or two, but in 24 minutes, we begin our Big Brain Trivia. So if you haven't downloaded the Big Brain app yet, you still have time to do it. And the contest is Sports Rules. Sports Rules is the trivia contest. How do you both feel about your sports rules knowledge?
What I've determined is it doesn't matter what my knowledge is about anything. I'm not particularly good at trivia, timed trivia.
Yep.
Like I'm a slow thinker. Like it's just not my game. Last night there was a baseball trivia on there. I got all 12 out of 12, and was nowhere near the top 10 because I'm just a little too slow. And like when you type a word and it's like my brain reads it and then I'm like, pause. And like even knowing the answers does not help me at trivia. It's just, I have a deficiency in the speed trivia.
Did you cash in baseball trivia?
No. 12 out of 12, and I wasn't even that close.
Jeez. Yeah. That's tough,
I mean,
man.
there's some ringers on there for sure.
Like a lot of people are really amazing at trivia, and I'm just not one of those people.
Well, who
I have to
cash last time? Tuttle, you cashed in the last one, right?
Yeah, I cashed. I
You
enjoy
doubled
it,
up, man.
I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
And I try to get my wife into it too. She's so much smarter. I'm dumb with trivia. Like I am. But I'm, as a DFSer, I'm kind of like, I'm more about just gaming. Like, hey, just make sure you have an answer put in so you can get 1,000 points and then swap later if you need to. Right. She's less about that and more about actually knowing the answers. And I'm more about just like trying to get hints from the questions, basically.
Right. Well, seems like a dream team here.
Yeah. The typing got me back in the baseball ones last night. Like one of them was pickle. I was like, I knew like immediately, like, yeah, I know what it is, but it took me like so long to type it. And like, is that how you spell pickle? And then it was like, hey, 500 points.
Yeah. Important question for Cheese. Who wins in an ice cream eating contest? Frank Thomas, Bo Jackson, or Charles Barkley?
Barkley would annihilate those others. I mean, it wouldn't even be close.
Frank
Bo
Thomas
Jackson would be
like...
too busy chitter chattering to even finish his ice cream. I don't know if you ever tried to have a conversation with that guy, but
is he
he's a talker.
No, I did not know that Bo was Bo knows talking. Frank, the Big Hurt, his nickname is the Big Hurt. I would think he could put the Big Hurt on some ice cream for sure.
I mean, he could. Like him and Barkley would probably both be able to beat me in an ice cream eating contest. Speed wise, probably not total volume, but speed. I bet they could win it.
Yeah. This is kind of funny. Jay says, blame Roth time. The in-laws are over, and guess which habit I've now picked up. She's thrilled. Every Monday, my in-laws come over, and so every Monday I get on the show, I'm a little bit drunk, and by the end of the show, I'm good and drunk, because then I go and hang out with the in-laws. So nothing wrong with getting a little bit sauced before you spend some quality time with the in-laws. In fact, I encourage it.
That seems to be a thing because I'm I'm kind of the same. Like I don't get sauced with them there, but I'm more liberal with my drinking.
Yeah.
In
Well, I
front of
need
them for
it.
sure.
I need the patience. I need, it's.
Mine are just cooler than my parents. I think is like more socially cool. I think is the thing.
Okay. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
mine's not that way. Mine's like, I need this to survive. All right. So we're going to look at some of these other big brain trivia categories, by the way, for today. One of them is just LeBron James. That's today at 9:30. It's just, that's the whole category is LeBron James. So if you think you're a big LeBron James fan, that seems pretty easy. Doctor Who. Cheese, you seem like you would love Doctor Who.
Let me see these.
It's really not quite my thing, and I in general I agree. It does seem like I would, but I don't. I would get 0 out of 12.
Okay, same. I watched it one time because this girl that I liked was really into it, so I tried to watch it and be like, "Oh, this is great," but I hated it.
Good reason to try though. You gotta
Right?
give it a shot.
It was worth giving it a shot. One of
Boy bands is Ross.
Boy
right
bands
there.
is good. I would do well. I really like this one. Cuts of meat. That's a great category.
Yes.
Nice Delmonico.
Yeah. So, hey, while we've got Kirk Deese in the chat, Kirk.
Yeah.
Like, did you
He made
come
up
up with
the
this
nickname.
Is that just
100%.
your nickname, or did you hear it somewhere? And if you just want to get it started, like, I mean, I'm all for it. I'm just curious if somebody else said it and you were like, yeah, it makes sense, or if you had never heard of Yasiel Puig and you're like, hey, we should come up with the Cuban Missile, and then went that way. Either way, Dallas Garcia is good at hitting baseballs really far.
I just got this tweet from Mike Mutnansky, who is heard weeknights at 6 to 10 p.m. on who knows what. But bottom line is his location is in Boston. He's got a check mark and 40,000 followers. So I'm going to believe he knows what he's talking about. He says, yeah, it's pretty wild here in Boston. You've got players warming up and the grounds crew looming near the tarp. Not great.
And it's too late to bail now. Yeah.
And official on the White Sox here. Forecast has rain until 8 to 8:15 or so. So that's 2 hours from now, Central Time. With only light rain and mist behind it, we still expect to play tonight. First pitch may not be until approximately 8:45.
Okay. Why can't every team do that?
Right. That's amazing. And if it goes horribly wrong, that's okay. Like, let's say it keeps raining until 10, whatever. At least they gave us an idea of what they're trying to do and what they want to do.
Exactly.
So
they said we expect to play. They're not saying they're guaranteeing it. They're saying this is our plan.
So I guess the next question is, Cheese, we've got guys now. Do we have guys that we put in the later games that we now want to bring over to Chicago guys?
Yeah. So, like, I think I would play Grandal in DraftKings Cash because he's a catcher, and like if that holds, if you sort of back what they're saying an hour from now, I think
yes, I agree with what they're saying. It was just, were they going to wait that long?
Yeah. So I would go ahead and play it. Yeah, I that's exactly right. Like any kind of news like that, I think is good enough. So I'm fine to play Grandal in cash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. BHB says, so does that tweet put you back on the White Sox in cash? It would for me. I'm not going to say it definitely works out at this point, but it was really just a question of, were they okay waiting a few hours? First pitch is going to be like almost 3 hours after scheduled first pitch. No, I guess maybe it was an hour later. Anyways, it's going to be significantly delayed, but the fact that they say they want to do it is good. Announcing a late start is what we were waiting for. So the fact that they have done that means I expect they're going to play there in Chicago. Results DB is up as well. For those of you who have not Results DB'd before, who are watching on the free YouTube. First off, you're a freeloader, but we love you. Go ahead and hit that like, subscribe button. Second, watch Cheese give you this thorough breakdown of Results DB. It's going to blow your mind.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I mean,
yeah, Tuttle's got the screen. I'm doing nothing.
What contest do we want to enter first? Do we want to look at the higher buy-in, or the $762 buy-in, or the $15 buy-in?
I want to look at at both of them and see the difference between the guys who are paying 800 and the guys who are paying $1.
Let's see here. I might have broken something.
Explode. Yeah.
No, I just got a brand new computer. This isn't me.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Hey.
Look at Mr. Fancy Pants.
It's because I stuck with the old one for ages, and then I would always be late, and it would crash, and blah, blah, blah. All right, let's go to MLB. Let's do the $15 first and try to bring that up and see if it loads. Is it loading on your end, Devin?
It's not, I mean, I'm not seeing anything visually.
Yeah, I'm wondering if
Visually is the way you would see it if you.
I'm trying to tweet. Just give me a second. Hang on. Let me focus on weather for a second.
Okay, let's try that. Let's try this one more time. May 28th. All right, there we go. Much better. Fetching the ownership. Let's compare the 15 with that 762 interim. So Garrett Cole, complete chalk, unsurprisingly. Ryu is at 19% in both. I think that seems about right.
Yeah.
And then unsurprisingly, we don't have a whole lot of active bats going right now because we have 2 games. So you got your Yankee stack in if you did it around that 6 to 7% range, it looks like. And there's not a whole lot. I guess Toronto bats are worth talking about. It looks like Teoscar Hernandez is at 5%. So the Toronto bats ownership came in lower than Yankee stacks, which is I guess a tiny bit surprising. Perhaps the reaction to weather there.
I really think that is a weather thing. I think it would have been just slightly flipped.
Yeah,
that's where I was this morning. I like Toronto just slightly ahead of the Yankees. Everyone cares about weather, so that's what happened.
Oh, people avoided Boston. Yeah, that's worth talking about too, I guess. Devers looks like the highest owned Boston player at 4% in these.
Geez, what would you have guesstimated his ownership at with, like, was Devers a play, like a cash game play, if there had not been weather?
No, it would have been that third base would have been really spread out anyway.
Oh, that was third. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really
Like
don't think Boston wouldn't have been huge chalk anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Gophers fan says, look at the balls on this guy. He thinks he can tweet while he's working on a live show. The tweeting is part of the job. I got to tweet and I got to be on the live show. So sorry about that. We are 10 minutes away, 11 minutes away from sports trivia. Tuttle, you in?
I am.
Cheese, you in?
Oh, no, I got to do that. I'm trying to log into this screen share thing here.
You got to get in. I'll see how many people are in this.
Yeah,
here.
let me join real quick first so we got in here.
All right. There's 18 of us in here so far.
I am in.
18, and this is one of the higher priced contests on.
Well, that's
their
what
site.
gets me. These are $10 contests.
Yep.
A lot of the other ones are like $2 or $1, but we jump right into the $10 for Rotogrinders. We're high rollers around here, Tuttle. Apparently.
Dang right. Although I'm almost lost the money. I'm down money since I put in $10, got my $10 match, and I'm at $12 now.
I mean, that's pretty good because actually you put in $10 and now you have $12.
there you go.
You are up money. I, on the other hand, put in $40 and now I have 10, and this will be my final contest after I don't win. So.
And then you got to ask Dan Bach to redeposit
we all
for
gotta
you.
hit up Dan the deposit. He's gonna say, "We pay you enough. Shut up."
I'm very
Here's-
curious about
yeah.
the Taco Bell trivia.
Did you know that Taco Bell used to serve a delicious ice cream sandwich type snack? Do you know what it was called? This harkens back to the days of our childhood. You could go to Taco Bell and get a frozen dessert. Do you know what it was? Anyone?
Was this the
No clue.
Choco Taco?
The Choco Taco.
Oh, they had those at
Yes.
Taco. I didn't know they actually had those at Taco
They
Bell.
did for a while.
Man,
They
what a
sold-
throwback.
Yes, Choco Tacos, which in theory were so good, but when you bit into them, it was always like stale. The taco was always like stale tasting because the moisture from the ice cream made it like, I don't know. Also, a few people in chat were on it on Choco Taco. Deuteronomy, good job, man. I need to pull up this YouTube chat, by the way. I'm sure it's popping.
Yeah, I need
over
to.
All right. Last time I prepared a trivia for us to get us ready for this one, but there was too much weather, so I didn't. We just need to eat 10 minutes.
Yeah, we can't talk about turtle and sharks.
No. Nope. Dan's in the chat. He says,
Back
"Your
against the
back's
wall."
against the wall. Get it done, Roth."
All right, so how much do you have? This is your buy-in. This is
Yeah.
it.
This is it.
Or-
I've got $0 left now that I
see,
bought this.
I at least have $2 left over.
So you can grind your way back working the small.
See,
Small
there's and
stakes.
like I could just win the boy bands $2, which is a winner take all, and I'll be right back in it.
Yeah.
I put in the full $50 to get a free $50, and I'm still at $55. So I'm still losing free money, and I fully plan to just get down to zero because I'm, as I say, I may know some answers, but I am not good at trivia.
What's frustrating is the one that Tuttle won, the NBA one.
That was
I
your best shot.
I was right there, man. I
Yeah.
was just like a person behind the line. That would have been nice. That double up would have been solid. But we'll get it back. I feel good about my sports rules trivia.
Tell me which one you would pick to do tonight if you didn't have to do the sports rules one. Which one would you be best at?
Of the options that we have, or can I make one up?
No, of the options we have.
All right. Honestly, I would suck at all of these. Like, I don't know.
There has to be
Wine.
one.
We could get Meansy on wine. What? Derek Jeter, the Titanic. Love songs, maybe. Pretty good at love songs. Scarface, Top Chef, no. Rolling Stones, no. Famous Bridges, no. Grease, no. Literally, there's not one here that I feel. The Rotogrinders one is if I
Yeah,
could
that's
choose
your best
one,
shot.
It's my best shot. It's sports rules. It's the best shot I've got. So we're
Oh,
gonna.
we better see Dan Bach in the college basketball one on Monday night.
Yeah, Dan better be in this thing. Put up a good showing, Dan. Jump in this thing, man.
Is there a way to see who's in the ones tonight?
I think you can. Let me contest info. I'm not
Yeah,
got it on the
+9
screen. Here.
maybe.
View all players.
Oh, there you go. See,
Chop
I don't
Chop
trust these
Trigger.
people. Yeah, I don't trust Chop Chop Trigger because he's got a 10 experience level.
Yeah, that's a ringer. Mr.
Yeah.
Tuttle,
Where's-
experience level 3. He's a ringer.
I don't see Dan Bach in this one. Do you guys?
He would be a 1. Let me look way down at the bottom.
What is
But
my
he's slow
experience? I can't see.
You're
my
level
own.
3.
Okay.
You've got
okay.
a 3. It'd be probably because you cashed, and then Roth and I are at 2 because we have shown up and played.
Yeah.
I'm climbing up, baby.
I wonder, can you raise your level if you never win? If you just keep dumping in
You
money?
just keep playing.
Yes, because both you and I are more than 1.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, that's the very simple answer.
Gophers fan pointing out, don't sweat it, Roth. We can't all run into Duke basketball players while hosting. Meansy with just a freebie.
Yeah, that was pretty
Free
rigged, if I may
W.
say so.
Brutal. Okay, look at this. I just got a push notification from Big Brain. They're talking about our contest. And that's
Cool.
right. I signed up for the push notifications from Big Brain. Or I just didn't unsign up. One of the two. They signed me up.
Didn't unsign up. That's like
You
a
know.
big brain
You
question.
can
like the old
click.
double negative question.
Because I said not to, but if you enter, you can say notify me.
Yeah, I don't know where my contest is now. I've lost. Oh, here we go.
Oh.
My contest.
Hey, Roth,
Yeah.
how are the Bucks looking?
I don't even know what that means. Oh, Milwaukee.
Yeah, how are the
Like,
Milwaukee
what
Bucks
sport are we
looking?
talking about? They look like they're going to get handled by the first decent team that they come across.
I just wish we could have saved the Brooklyn series for later, the Eastern Conference Finals.
Is that coming next? They have to play
it's
Brooklyn.
next. Yeah. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
But also, I don't know, Brooklyn, 3 superstars. I'm not convinced that they play defense and that they like play as hard as Milwaukee does. So
It'll be a fun series, I think.
it will be fun. And I don't hate Giannis, so let's see. All right. We don't have any more questions out there. We've got 4 minutes and 20 seconds until this is on. Oh, Dan says you can't play in Florida. So that's why Dan's not in
Yep,
this.
sure.
It's great to have an excuse
Brutal.
for being even worse than us at trivia.
Dan's a level 0.
Yeah, he is a 0. No, he's not even trying. If he cared, he would just drive up to Georgia. and play trivia with us.
We got 29 people in here now.
Oh, this is the biggest one yet.
Yeah, this
is
jumped up
growing
big
every
time.
Yeah. Our first one was only like 11 people. Though we've tripled that now.
No, but I actually now wonder for real, and Dan maybe could answer this. Like, can you go to a state that's legal and play? Is that like DFS like that? Like, if you drove to Georgia, could you play trivia with us? Because if so,
Yeah.
obviously, I want you to.
What are you doing? Yeah. And I think he lives in Jacksonville, which is
He's not that far.
he's right there.
Like,
Yeah.
it's nothing but laziness if he can play and doesn't.
Here we go.
Nothing better to do.
Oh yeah, I love the cheese Avi for sure. I'm just seeing that now.
It's amazing. The cheese avatar is so good.
Google knew how to find a cheese holding a baseball bat more than it knew what the Cuban Missile was.
All right, 3 minutes here. We've got. I feel pretty good. I'm not as nervous as I was the last few rounds.
This is the one, dude. If you're only playing Friday nights, this is your contest to win.
Yeah.
And then you'll be set for the next however.
Right. I get 2 weeks. If I can somehow cash on this, I got 2 more runs in me.
Well, what will you get? You'll get 65 is first place right now.
Well, I'm not getting that.
I'm just really curious
not
to see
even
what
aiming for
sports they
first
pick out
place.
here.
What
sports do we
rules?
get questions of?
Right. You know, there's only
Pickleball
gonna be,
rules.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, are we going to get like cricket rules questions?
Yes.
Or
Absolutely. There's going to be cricket. There's going to be pickleball.
a little curling?
Yeah.
Can I tilt Ryu while we're at it too?
Yes. How's Ryu?
Base is loaded right now.
How many outs?
1 out.
And then the Tigers
double
got
play ball,
2
baby.
on, 2 outs against Cole.
Yep.
Candelario got a hit off of him.
Not great.
Ooh, play now.
Go.
Yeah.
Got the big
The
countdown up.
official countdown.
My join.me up. Yeah.
Yeah, now we're good to go. Did you guys, so have you ever played with the volume on?
No.
No, I've only played here with. Is it more intense?
It's
Is it
very
really
distracting.
Yeah, I
I don't
can buy that.
like it. Let's see if it
Yeah.
plays right now. No. I'll put it on at some point during the trip. It's very distracting.
Okay, thanks for putting it on. It's my one shot, Tuttle. New York Giants fan says I'm doing trivia, then I'm going to scramble and do my NASCAR trucks lineups.
Oh yeah. Is weather a thing this weekend at all for NASCAR? Is there going to be raining around?
Here's the issue with NASCAR is I can't keep up with what's happening. There's truck ones on some days, and then there's like rally cars. I'm like, someone just tell me what I'm supposed to forecast for and where I'm supposed to forecast for it. I don't ever know what the hell's going on in NASCAR. But I don't know. Somebody hit me up and asked about it, but I was dealing with baseball, so I guess there's going to be weather.
I don't know how many times I have to tell you this, Kevin. There's always weather.
But yes, I mean, weather like we saw today, real weather.
Just might not be bad weather.
All right.
26, 25.
Rio already allowed 2 runs.
That is
I was
interesting.
hoping basketball would start a little later so I could get in tilt enter some more action there.
Well, Cole got out of his first inning.
Yeah.
Good for him.
All right, less than 10 seconds. Let's do
All
this.
right, baby.
Let's do this thing. Pay no attention to my answers. They will be wrong and slow.
And slow.
If I finish 12th place, we are having a party tonight.
You guys like the music?
Oh my God, make that shit stop.
Oh, come on. Type this out. Get this fast enough, Dave.
I think I got it fast enough.
I got 1,000. I got 1,000.
Woo. Whew. That's
That was
the
a little
best I've
easy.
ever done on a typing question. Except it's not easy when it's typing. Like I still almost didn't
Right.
get there.
Same.
All right, we got to call out the people. Scroll down and call out the people that didn't get the points for this one.
I don't think
We
we
have
should
time.
because there will be another one that easy that I don't get. So it's okay.
No, we're literally all tied for first. I think
Well,
literally
somebody didn't get it
everyone
because we're making $11 now instead
Oh,
of 10.
got it. All right. Like, come on.
I actually almost, I almost
That's
picked the
just one
wrong
of those,
color
it
at
takes
first.
a minute to read it.
Yes.
So it's
Right, but
you
I didn't
know.
get 1,000 there.
Are you serious?
I didn't get 1,000. It took me too long to read it.
So you have to click while
clicked the wrong-
while reading. Oh,
Yeah, I
did you
clicked
click the
before I
penalty
finished
flag?
reading.
I clicked the penalty flag.
I did that at first.
I'm
the
worst at this freaking game. Shit.
I did that at first and then I swapped in time, thankfully.
Well, good run, guys. It was a good run.
Oh, come on.
I mean, this has all been so easy, and I
Yeah.
blew it because I got nervous and my hands got all sweaty.
How many yards must the squad on offense? Thank you for being here.
Oh,
Shut down
injury
by
experts
Devin.
in this. Is that the injury expert?
Dr. Chow.
No,
Dr. Chang. Dr.
Will, right?
I should just stop picking random names.
Oh, what is
Oh,
it?
no, that's not it.
No, what is it?
Come
What is
on,
it?
It's easy. It's easy.
I didn't get
Don't
1,000
listen
on
to
this.
Stevie. I think it's easy.
Yeah, I know it's one. I don't know which of those two it is.
I mean, I went with yellow because red.
That's
seems
what I-
like-
that's
It's
what I
yellow.
went
It's
with.
yellow. I got 8. I didn't get 100%. Oh, dang it.
Yeah.
Because red's the
What is
Red
red?
race
mean?
is off. Race is red's stop. Dang
Oh,
it,
I'm climbing the ranks, baby.
bro. So here's the thing. That's the first one I didn't get 1,000 on. I'm at 841 on it, and now I'm in 24th place.
You're no longer cashing. Brutal. These all have been easy so far.
It's got to be it.
It's got to be. I don't know, but yeah. Okay.
You really don't have a lot of time to read these. That's
No,
what gets me. I
that's-
get so nervous reading them that then I do something stupid.
Yeah, the speed readers have a leg up on us.
Yeah. All right. Where are you guys both at right now? What rank?
21st.
11th cheese?
I've
Don't
got 49.90. I just missed 10 points on one. But still, that's not that great because all these geniuses.
Bro, I actually don't know this one.
What? Come on.
Except you should be able to just guess.
Yeah,
fine.
I guessed it right.
All right.
I actually didn't know that was a rule.
I'm not.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a
convinced.
rule. Is what I'm saying. Like I guessed
Yeah.
it right.
Yeah, that's interesting.
They
I don't know
can't.
why they
It's
would
not like
care.
soccer where you can go up and send the goalie to try to score at the end.
I've seen
think you
goalies
should.
stick handling before, but I guess I've never seen them go across half ice. The red line.
It's not called half ice.
It's the red line.
Ooh.
Oh,
Some
shoot.
people probably know this. I'm probably not one of those people.
I feel like I'd know this.
I think I maybe.
I'm sticking with what
I think
Yeah.
I got this.
Is it 10?
Oh, I went
I
12.
put 12.
Oh, you guys got it then.
Oh, I don't
if
know.
you
Let's
if
see.
you have consent, yep.
Wow.
Dang.
Nice.
Now I have to see. Now I have no shot. Cheese is sixth
Let's
place.
go, Cheese.
Hey,
Let's go, Cheese.
don't worry. There's time to lose this one.
I have no idea what the answer to this is. Is it the 10?
Move this kick back.
No, let's move back.
Oh.
Yeah.
What? I don't know. 15.
No, I had it right for 1,000 points, and then I changed it right at the last second and got it wrong.
I barely got anything.
Son of a monkey's uncle.
I missed it because I knew it was 30 yards.
And it
total.
was the starting line. Yeah,
Right.
it was the yardage spot. Oh,
read
I
it.
had it right, and then I changed it right at the last second.
Why'd you do that?
I don't know. Dumb.
It's a bad idea.
This reads really weird.
Yeah, it took me a second there.
But did you still get 1,000?
No,
927.
Yeah.
4 letters is a lot to type.
Yeah. Okay.
I have that many fingers. If I'd been able to do one letter with each finger, that would have been 1,000. I'm going to work on that this week. It's be my project.
All right. Where are you at, Cheese? You're 10th. You're still in the money,
10th.
Cheese.
Yeah, I'm dropping big. You're probably ahead of me now, Roth. I'm 33rd.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I got 0 on the 12 rounds.
What?
What the heck? 0 idea. I didn't get 100 or 1,000.
I just
that's for
changed
sure.
it right there.
Did you know this was a rule?
No,
No. I
I
thought
had
I'd
no
seen
idea.
people catch it with their hat, but I guess I haven't.
Well, I actually gained points somehow, gained in the standings from not knowing that. That's weird, but third base. I assume they would ground rule double it.
Yeah.
I do not know. We need Dan Bach for this one. I bet he knows this one.
Yeah, I actually don't know this.
Yes, I got it.
0.
Let's go.
Come on.
Let's go.
I think you should be penalized. I think this is a bad rule.
No, you can't control. If you approach it and like hit it off, then sure. But
No, that's a bad rule.
Oh, I gained one spot, baby. Cheese is in the money. You got to get this right, Cheese.
come on,
Yeah,
Cheese.
thank you
No
for the pressure.
man.
Be more
Hopefully it's a
golf
typing
questions.
one.
Oh, polo. What? What?
I have no idea. Oh, okay.
So it's lefty.
So then
Dang
it's got to
it.
be their right hand, right?
No. Yes.
Think about it, Tuttle.
Oh my gosh. That's what I had too. And then I read Southpaw. And this is why I can't win these
Yeah.
things.
All right.
Hey! Woo!
Cheese.
11th place.
Let's
Already
go,
done.
Cheese.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm getting
baby.
KFC tonight to celebrate this. Wow.
$7, baby.
All right.
Roth and I down there, 25th and 33rd.
Don't put me
representing.
with you. I'm up there at 25th. You're down there at 33rd. No, don't you.
That was a
Don't put us
terrible
together.
showing. Terrible showing.
Hey, don't forget, if you are a winner and we know you, if you are Tony M, or if you are IG BK photo page, I don't think you are. Go ahead, reach out. You get some RG swag. Actually, you get a free month of premium, which is pretty stupendous. But one of the few names that I recognize here on the leaderboard is Mr. Cheese, taking home $17.
That was exciting. That's probably the greatest thing that's ever happened to me, honestly.
Congratulations, Cheese. Everyone's
Yeah.
won one but me now, so I'm the idiot. Hey, we've got a visitor.
She's killed it. Yeah. I didn't lock my door, so we got KO here now.
Hello.
Hey, what's happening? Do you like trivia?
You probably can't hear.
Yeah.
Bonjour.
Do you
Je
like
m'appelle
cartoons?
David.
Do you like cartoons?
Les cartoons?
Okay, that went great. She's
Does
starts
he
speaking in
speak
French. He's scared
French,
of cheese. He
by the
started
way?
speaking French.
Yeah, he speaks French. Can you say we? No, he's too shy.
No.
He
Wait,
knows what I was saying.
why does he speak French?
No, he doesn't. I was joking.
I was like, did I miss something? All right. Oh man. Hey, Tuttle, cute kid, and Cheese, great work on caching. That's really quite the accomplishment. I'm gonna go panhandle for a little extra money so that I can get back in the next one.
I live to play an extra week.
Yeah. For Cheese, for Tuttle's adorable little kid, and for Devin, always working hard behind the scenes. Guys, we appreciate you. We love you. We'll catch you next week. You have been crunched.